No. Shh. Oh, you be quiet.
Welcome to episode 38 of the Quarantine Cast here on Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon, and we've got another great cast of characters to build and chat with you today. It's going to be a wonderful discussion about Lego ideas and lots of other stuff as well, so we'll jump on into it. So yeah, we've got Kirk, we've got Brian, we've got Jeff, and we've got Just Too Good here.
Yo.
And Just Too Good doesn't know what he joined in on, do you?
I literally do not. I just was like, oh, hey, today's Tuesday. I can make it. Let me join in. And then that's what I did.
You're in for a rude awakening.
Uh-oh, what is it? Oh, no.
If only there was a header on the email that said exactly what it was about.
Oh, no. What
You
did
have
I
to pay
join
attention
into?
to the email.
Well, it was quarantine cats. I was like, okay. Oh, yes.
Brian has been coordinating something behind the scenes here.
I see the title now. I see the title now. Okay. I'm getting it a little bit. I'm getting it a little bit.
What are you looking at me for? What did I do? What? I'm just sitting here with some coffee, watching the snow fall on the North Shore of Boston, Massachusetts. I have no idea what's going on, Joshua.
As per usual, you're just an innocent bystander as the world unfolds around you.
Yes, exactly. No, how have you been?
I've been great. I got up and played some pickleball this morning with Timmy. It was really nice. It's nice to get up and exercise in the morning. It's just us and the retired people, so it's always funny.
Man,
it was some good games.
You're already 70.
I know. In so many different ways. I mean,
it's incredible. Kirk, how you doing? Oh, look. Oh, this is. Oh, guys, I don't think you know.
This is awkward. This is awkward.
I don't think y'all know it's okay. Kirk, how are you?
I'm doing good, Brian. How about yourself?
Excellent. You look like you're about to file my taxes. Are you going to do a good job?
Come on, he works at Target right now. You can see he works at Target.
Yeah, Target. I see it.
No, you look like a newly hired individual at H&R Block who wants to make a real good impression.
Hi, welcome to TurboTax.
Okay.
Oh, God. It's just, I'm aware of what's going on today, so I'm like...
Nothing's going on. Nothing.
Oh, okay. Kirk, everything is fine. We're all going to be holding hands and walking through the field of tulips like there's no problem.
Sure. We'll see.
So
we'll have you file our taxes for us, Kirk.
You got it.
It gets a little complicated because my 6-figure salary takes up so much.
How much for Brian? It gets super complex, and he's got so many offshore accounts he has to put the money in. It's like crazy.
Right. I have a couple
Brian gets paid in
studs,
in Lego studs, so that's a lot of money.
Oh my!
We're just funneling Bitcoin into so many different accounts.
Beyond the Brick actually has a siphon on all your computers to mine Bitcoin. They
oh my gosh! Oh no!
But it's incredible.
See you later, Kirk.
Oh,
he just left.
I think we scared him off.
All right.
No, we love Kirk, and Kirk Wilson loves us. But you know who loves us more? Ash Daddy with the 1999 super chat. Thank you, Daddy. LME Toys. Building one brick at a time. Justin, do you know about Daddy?
No, what happened? Tell me. What the heck?
He's Daddy.
Explain. He's Daddy. Does he like donate everything?
No, but Daddy graces us with his mighty swift arm and donates a couple of funds. And
okay, Daddy in the house. There you go.
Daddy finally came back.
Daddy's home.
Dad's
he came back. He came back from getting milk. Yeah. Okay.
The 3% milk. Yeah.
Yeah. He's back. Finally. Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Well, welcome back, Esh Daddy. Glad to see you're still in the house and chilling. Now, Just Too Good knows about Daddy, so it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time. All right.
So there's been a lot of Lego news. Has there been this week? Kind of, sort of. One thing got announced. What was it? That Porsche that Mike won't stop talking about? Is that a thing?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Yeah, the Porsche looks dope, and it's Mike and I that won't stop talking about it because it's the one creator car where I'm like, I actually kind of want this. This is weird.
It's good. It's weird
Well.
good. Yeah.
I have no interest in it because I don't like creator cars, but I do like the Beetle, so maybe I do like some creator cars.
So it's just not good enough.
It's just too not
It's a
good.
beefed up
Yeah,
Beetle.
good.
It's like a German car as well. It's a
Got it.
beefed up Beetle. So you may like it actually.
No,
Just
it
get
looks
a
cool.
squished
It's
Beetle,
just
like
not
they
for me.
squished it and made a Porsche.
Oh, there you go.
Next week, I've got a first-time special guest joining us to build the Porsche set on the stream. So you can all look forward to that.
Are you having Mr. Porsche on the stream?
Yes,
to build
yes,
the
Mr.
Porsche?
Brian, there is no Mr. Porsche.
Oh no, you just broke his heart.
I'm sorry, Jeff. What?
There's no such thing as Mr. Porsche.
Okay. Who invited you?
Oh, God.
There's
We
like
have, what?
that's not how that works.
I'm sorry. Who invited you again?
You did several times.
Oh.
Every week.
Well, that's cool. What else do we have in Lego news this week?
Real quick, it's not Tom Hanks. He's joining us for the typewriter. Remember? Wrong
Right,
set,
right.
wrong
Oh,
set.
Tom Hanks, he's going cool. Okay.
Milan's asking if it's Jang Bricks. Jang Bricks is too busy filing his taxes. He's not paying attention to our childish games.
That's
Okay.
right.
There you go.
Kirk is
Yo,
actually private
wait.
messaging right now.
Turkey is processing Jang's taxes and yes.
Side tangent, real quick. Hold on, side tangent. I went into Jang Bricks live stream and I said, "Hello, hope you're having a great day." And you know what he said? He said, "Brian, it's Bricks O'Brien. It's a live streaming professional over here. Brian Saviano over here." So Jang
Nobody
Bricks,
said that.
That is questionable.
yes, he did. And Jang Bricks knows me.
Shane Bricks knows who you are. Wow.
He knows who I am.
There you go.
So
Somebody
honored.
put in chat like last week or the week before that he made some mention in like a live stream like I'm no Bricks O'Brien or something.
Yes,
So I
yeah.
think he realized that he's in on the joke now, which is great.
Yeah,
That's weird because Jane doesn't seem like the guy that has a sense of humor.
No, he is so
he's
great.
great.
Yes, he made
He's
a
great.
meme on his stream.
That's
He made the
that
pink
was
cone
one of the
meme.
things that surprised me most when we first visited him 2 or 3 years ago now is like how much of a sense of humor he has, because he comes across as like so calm and collected in his videos. But no, if you get him going, he definitely does. So yeah, he's actually
Guys,
really
Jang
great.
is
to
the
hang out with.
meme lord. He makes memes like that. He makes Lego memes.
I mean, to be fair, I know another content creator exactly like that right now. He's in the Marsha Brady position for this whole live stream right now. Right, Kirk?
That was funny.
I missed it.
I didn't get your reference to whatever TV show that
What
is.
were the Brady bunch right now?
I got the character, but I missed what.
Kirk has a dynamite sense of humor once you get him going, but it takes a little bit.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Kirk got a super secret package in the mail he can't talk about.
Oh yeah, I did. And
It's
you
not that
guys will-
secret.
It's not that secret, but it's secret because it has.
I'm
to be
building
secret.
up the hype for you. Don't.
Yeah. No.
No, my secret package is better than his. Okay?
You know what?
Why
Brian?
do I not have a secret package? Why do I
Because
not?
you're not me, Mike. Look at me.
I'm not the world famous YouTuber. Okay,
True.
fine, I get it. Jeez.
My secret package is huge.
Not like a
Oh,
okay.
there you go.
Let's what? It's Peach's Castle, Brian. Shut up, Milan.
Don't even say that. Don't even say that. Oh my God.
I already did.
No.
Kirk?
No. Now where's my secret package? Great.
No.
I know, right?
I didn't even
okay.
get offered it.
I
Dang
did
you,
not
Lego.
I did not get video. Brian got video.
What's a video? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is.
You know
It's
what?
TikTok
Hello?
with Lego.
I have no clue what that even is. What that
Yeah, I
is.
don't know what that is either,
I have no
Mister.
clue
I
what
wasn't
that
in a
is.
call with you yesterday about it, but okay.
Oh,
I have no clue what is even going on. Whoa.
What is
That's what we're
happening?
doing.
What is
Okay.
happening?
Oh,
Whoa.
There's other Lego news this week, ladies
Is there?
and gentlemen. We had a 1 hour and 13-minute conversation
Oh God, we did.
about the various Lego themes that were up for nomination for the 90th anniversary set to be released in 2022. We haven't heard from Just Too Good on the show. What did you want? Not what the three results are.
Oh, what I want.
What did you want?
I wanted Paradisa and Studios
You're
and
so wrong.
Adventurers. Those
You're so-
three. Hey,
Paradise,
what'd you want?
absolutely.
What'd you want? Paradisa's amazing.
No,
Paradisa's amazing.
you want
Josh knows
Parad-
when he saw it at my house.
Yeah.
want Paradisa because you want printed base plates and you're not going to get
No. I want that and more. Paradise is so much
So
more
much
than
more.
printed base plates. The cool relaxation houses, the beautiful, vibrant Art Deco colors from Miami.
Brian,
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Who's
Yeah.
that at the door? Who's that at the door?
pastel,
Oh, it's
oh.
Lego Friends, Justin. It's Lego Friends at the door.
No, don't even compare Paradise to Lego Friends.
I just
Don't
did.
even
What are you gonna do?
compare.
Hey,
They're not the
just
same
being
at
a
all.
Florida boy, Brian. You know that
It's
speaks
true.
to him on a deep level.
That Miami style. It's like a Miami Vice. Well, Paradise is my number one. Okay. Well, no, actually, Adventurers was. I like Lego Adventurers. How about that?
Wait,
Lego
hold on.
Adventurers.
When you said Miami style, I just picture you in like a hot pink convertible riding down the Miami
Legit.
Strip
That's how it is.
with the mask on, and you're just like,
That's how it is. And they didn't mask.
Pitbull music in the background.
Boom,
yeah,
boom,
you
boom,
have an
boom,
all-white suit. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, if you remember, Lego referenced Paradisa with that one figure with the white suit in Series 17, I think it was. It was a Paradisa dude.
And that's
Did
all
they
you're going to
really? I
get for
don't
the next
remember
20
that.
years.
Oh, unfortunately, it seems like it. It seems like it. It seems like that's all I'll get. Oh,
Hey,
but yeah, so
you
that's
also
that was
mentioned Studios and Adventures, which are two super great themes. So
I
those
love
are
Studios
awesome.
Adventures. Come on, Brian, are you going to diss that too? Are you going to diss
No,
Studios
no.
Adventures?
No.
Adventures is the one that I wanted to happen because
That's
of how
yeah.
it's so encompassing of 90 years of Lego overall. That's the best
I
one.
could see it. Yeah, I could see it. Again, that might have even been my number one, unironically, besides Parodies. I love Adventurers to death.
Yeah,
But
totally.
Studios too. I love Studios because it's such a
I
unique
wanted to see Studio.
idea. Yeah, and you know what they had was that Brick West Studios and ideas. That would have been perfect.
That was such a cool set. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have loved to see that.
That would have been
Don't-
perfect as a tribute to Studios, even without making this, 90th anniversary. But whatever.
Don't even get me started on this
Are we
idea.
getting on the ideas thing? Are we
No,
getting
no,
into
no,
the
no,
ideas?
no, no, no.
Okay.
One thing at a time, Justin.
Oh, but Justin,
I'm just
when
to
we
hear
were
Brian get
talking-
salty. That's
when
all.
we were talking about the idea, the sets, the possible themes, we had the brilliant idea, which would be combining Studios and Adventures and making like documentary crew following the adventures people
Heck
around
yeah.
the world, which would be like the best sets ever.
That would be lovely
would be
too.
amazing.
That would be lovely. And with Adventure, they actually did that in the old Studios theme because there was the Temple of Gloom. There was a set called the Temple of Gloom, and it had Johnny Thunder in it. And it was
Yeah.
a studio
There you
set.
go.
So
Yeah.
They almost did it back in the day, so that would be another great tribute to it, but whatever.
No,
it's
like full
classic
Indiana
space
Jones
or
if they
whatever.
made that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right?
I want more Indiana Jones sets in general.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully with the next movie we'll get it, but we'll
Mhm.
see.
Probably.
Yeah. But now what's winning? Bionicle, Classic Space, Castle, what else? I don't know.
Well, hold on.
Pirates?
So John, if you,
Pirates,
I linked
yeah.
this in the private chat over here. It's on the Lego Ideas blog, and they whittled down all of the different results, all the different potentials, I should say, down to only 3. And they whittled it down to 3, and we're like, oh, actually, no, we're gonna whittle it down to 4 because that's a little bit more fair. So at least as of right now, the top 3 voted themes were Classic Space and Pirates. And now they decided to add into that Castle because Castle was so fragmented. So they're basically making people choose between 4. Now, the thing is, Bionicle is number 1. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Why? And the reason why is because all these kids on their Instagrams and their YouTube live streams, they all decided to make their Lego Ideas accounts for the first time. They hopped right out of the crib. They sat down and they're like, da, 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 and they made their account for the first time. And then they only voted for one theme, and that was Bionicle. No, they didn't use all 3 of their votes like good international citizens do. They take advantage of the vote as much as they can. They voted for one thing, and then they got out of there. Cowards. A bunch of them that they are, because they didn't take full advantage of the opportunity in front of them. They just wanted to see that, oh, Bionicle is the thing we want to see. We don't want to see it. We don't want to give anything else a chance. And I think that's very selfish, if I do say so myself. Make sure you're using your votes to the best of your ability. Vote for at least 3 things, even if it's not something you think is going to work all that well. Squandering the opportunities here. So I was disappointed to see that so many people just voted for Bionicle when there's so many other things that you could put out there to make happen. And obviously Bionicle's not happening. System people don't care about Bionicle. And Bionicle fans are probably not going to like the Bionicle thing Lego comes out with anyways. So let's not get it twisted in any way, shape, or form that this is actually going to happen. It's not. And the fact that it's number one, great. But there's a reason they brought in Castle to be number 4 because they're banking on that Castle. Castle deserves to happen, even if it's not Princess Peach's castle. I know, Justin, but I think it deserves to happen in some capacity. And I think that's why they decided to rise it up into the ranks, because they already have the blueprint over in Denmark. You got Justin Ramsden, he's looking at a board, and he's like, and then you go, just like that, bam, there it is. It's done.
If I was them, why don't they just do like 4 anniversary sets and do a Bionicle?
No, right?
Do a Pirates, do a Trains. It's the same ideas. I don't know.
Expand that Mantis cranium you have. One set a year for leading up to the 100th anniversary.
I love. Oh, okay. Whoa, that's cool.
Big
That's
brain.
cool. I like that. I like that.
Why are you not hired by Lego
like
yet
that.
again? Why?
That's what I'm saying.
There you go. I will say, in defense of the Bionicle people, how do we know Bionicle people are only voting 1? And how do we know that's not the same for other themes like Classic Space or Castle?
Because we can literally see the votes. We can
I mean,
see
I voted 4 times for Classic Space, so
we don't know that they could have voted for Bionicle in Town or some crap, and Bionicle just a random choice. I don't know.
You can literally go through all of the accounts that voted for that.
Oh, you can go through. You could go through accounts. That's. I did not know you could do that. I did not know
you can see people just voted for Bionicle once, and that's it.
Oh my! I did not know. Where do you go for that? I want to see that. I did not know that.
You can see people's accounts, and you can see. You can scroll through the first page of that voting when they were kind of telling the votes, and they were public, so you can see what people had selected. And you can see like there was a bunch of single votes.
Send me ideas that page about the vote. Like it's all there.
Man, the coffee is very salty this morning. Wow.
Brian's been feverishly staying up till 3 a.m. just going through votes. Like,
although we gotta count the votes.
It doesn't add up.
Just to make like just a good 1, just a good 2, just a good 3, just a good 4.
I'm doing it for Paradiso, okay? Watch out.
1 vote for each subscriber.
I'm saying it's disappointing that there are so many people that wasted their vote and squandered an opportunity to bring more things back and give everything a fair vote instead of skewing the vote merely toward Bionicle. That's it. That's it.
There you go. You got to make your opinion known. You got to get the word out there.
Jeff, you about to kill some younglings? What are you doing, man?
So I figured it's the end of the world since Bionicle is getting this thing. And I thought I would get on my robes for that way when the world does end, I can be prepared to bring out the old book of Lego do's and don'ts and just read this off just in case people needed to hear it. So
you have so many books and notebooks, Jeff. I love it. It's
if there is ever a Jedi that's to come and save me, I need them to have a giant book and a big gulp to save me.
Before he starts, Brian, we've got a guest in the green room. Is it time to bring him in, or are we waiting?
Jang Bricks?
Maybe.
If it's not Jang Bricks, I don't care. There's nobody. Listen, Joshua, there's nobody out there that can convince me that Bionicle deserves any amount of recognition beyond anything that has been already made official by the Lego Group in the past. It needs to be done. It needs to be over with. We need to get it done. Nobody can redeem this theme. It's over. Okay?
But what if it's Maniac for Bricks? Because Joey will talk for like an hour about this.
No.
Fall asleep or just tell him to shut up and agree.
Jeff, there's nobody out there that can change my mind or make a good case for Bionicle. Not a single person.
All right.
See, I don't like Bionicle, but like I don't mind if it wins. I get that it's a big thing for a lot of people, and like and plus Castle's getting a remake this year. Last year Pirates got remakes. Bionicle, when is it going to get a remake? It got denied from Ideas, something like that. I guess it got remade in 2015 and it flopped. So I guess you could say that.
It's not good.
It's not good.
We're saying all this.
Oh, hey, LJ, what's up?
Except for the Bionicle King, baby.
Come on. Come on.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Just seeing your face down there in the green room, LJ, has just been great.
This man looks like he's going to announce the Academy Awards right now.
And today, for the most theme in Lego history, that's right, everyone. Not a surprise to anyone at all. Bionicle.
It's not. No.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
man.
Hang on, Brian. I can't hear you over the 24,000 votes Bionicle got in the first poll.
rigged. The vote.
I'm sorry. It was so good. It beat out generic castle theme number 42 and other generic castle theme number 5. What a shame. It was so difficult.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I
You know what LJ looks like right now? LJ looks like he's about to hand you a pamphlet about something, and it may or may not have light of the world in it, followed by come to my compound where others can rejoice and hang out.
he's gonna send me a cease and desist.
Maybe have some Kool-Aid. I don't know.
See, I couldn't really decide how to dress today, so I was like, should I be like a school teacher? Like a public school teacher, because you guys are gonna get schooled, or should I dress like I'm going to a funeral because I'm gonna be killing it today? Okay, all right.
How long did it take you to come up with that joke?
Mix it up, both.
Oh boy. Oh,
Why are you here?
I'm here for the same reason Bionicle is, to send a message to Lego and the greater AFOL community. And that is
space.
we ain't going nowhere.
Oh.
We were the #1 theme for a good long while, and we will be again.
Not in 2021 for sure.
You can hear the
2022
desperation,
though.
the desperation
I
in
wouldn't think so,
LJ's
no.
voice. Like
No, not
maybe if I keep saying it long enough, people will think it's a real theme.
It's okay. It's all right. I don't need to say it. I got someone else who can say it for me. Let me see. Anyone would know, I don't think.
What is this? You just
Wait,
what?
LJ, is that the
Oh,
Bionicle
shoot.
scripture?
oh my.
Is that the Bionicle scripture? What do you got there?
It is. This is these are one of our holy scripts, brick by brick, how Lego rewrote the rules of innovation and conquered the global toy industry. Has an entire chapter dedicated to Bionicle and how it saved the Lego company.
What's the rest of the book about?
Probably the rest of the book is about Star Wars. And just one chapter about Bionicle.
It is about some non-brick based constructions, namely wood ones, which kind of weird. Not very Lego-like, if you ask me. Definitely not an origin story or anything.
Oh, okay.
Nothing like that. Nothing crazy. So it's been very interesting from my perspective, getting to see like all of the discourse and all of the conversation surrounding Bionicle versus the system community. Obviously, my declaration of war notwithstanding. But it's been fascinating because I got into, Bionicle. I mean, I've been a fan of Lego for I don't know how long, but I got into Bionicle like late 2002, early 2003. And I got into the community around 2005. And so I never really got to experience that early kind of system elitism because I was just, hanging out in Bionicle circles. It's very apparent that hasn't gone anywhere. But I have yet to hear any kind of a good argument as to why Bionicle is not the most deserving theme for the 90th anniversary.
Oh, okay. So you know how Lego has studs?
I know how Mega Bloks have studs.
I didn't know about, see, I asked about Lego though. So you know how Lego has studs, and then
So what
like
is
that's how they built their company after they got done with the so-called wooden and metal toys that you just talked about.
LJ, did
I'm
you
just
just say
curious.
what is Lego?
So all right, so Lego has studs, and you build on top of it, and it's the 90th anniversary of Lego. Nothing says "Hooray 90 years" like an action figure that has a whole bunch of lore.
Yeah, I agree.
A whole bunch of people are like, "This is the greatest set of all time." Mom, bring me more Hot Pockets. Basically, that's.
So
Do
okay.
you really think that like Bionicle is like the pinnacle?
So
Pinnacle
is
of Lego
Lego
achievement?
is Lego only studs? Like, is this all Lego is, or all it will ever be?
Yes.
If Lego is only bricks and studs, when are we going to get into the Mega Bloks 90th anniversary celebration? Because that classifies as Lego too. Or is Lego where is the line drawn on what Lego is? Because if it's just bricks, well, we have a whole lot of buildings we need to celebrate their 90ths for. But if it's more than that, well, where do we draw that line? Is it when it has, I don't know, a Lego trademark on the piece? Maybe compatibility with other Lego pieces produced in Lego factories? Something to consider, certainly.
Yeah, you're definitely a cult leader, bro.
All I heard was
No,
I got nothing
LJ.
to respond to
Hey,
that.
LJ.
Excellent logic.
I will say
Would you
this,
like to
LJ,
talk about Bionicle?
I'm with you with this. I think the Bionicle stuff, whatever wins, wins. Yeah.
See, I think my whole perspective on it. I don't think Lego is going to make a Bionicle set. However, I definitely think they should be. It's never going to be like classic Bionicle, like ball and socket joints, like construction. These molds don't exist anymore, and they're not bringing them back. Like this is a pipe dream. It's not happening. What I think would be wise for a new Bionicle set would certainly be either a Technic set, one of I don't have it on my desk right now, but one of those like mechs, like Marvel have been doing those.
Yeah.
America. I think those would be a swell idea. Or sure, a system set is fine, because to me, Bionicle was never entirely about the system of its product. It was about what made it more than just its product.
No, you're absolutely right. So, like, yeah, I'd be down for like if
yes,
in all seriousness, getting rid of the stupid robe and everything else. Like, I'm glad that a fandom is actually, you know, making that mark that like this is what we demand, blah blah blah. But you're absolutely right. The molds are gone. All of that fun stuff is just gone. But like, if we got like a mech like this,
yeah,
and they slap Bionicle on it, even I would be happy with it. Like,
I
but
think
Jeff, but Bionicle fans wouldn't be happy with it, right?
cares?
LJ,
fans would be happy with anything.
but they were not happy with what they got a couple years ago.
Did you seriously just say Bionicle fans would be happy with anything?
They-
Have you
they
ever
wouldn't.
heard a Bionicle fan
No.
be happy with something?
They would not be happy with anything.
Okay,
Trust
okay.
me, Bionicle fans, in my experience, are some of the loudest complainers.
Right, and
Trust
see,
me.
That has
I
always
know them.
been... Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. But that being said, that doesn't mean that some of the complaints are invalid. I hear a lot of people using the argument, well, if Bionicle was so cool, why didn't you buy it in 2015 and 2016? And it really excludes a lot of very important context as to why that reboot, A, sucked, and B, did not last our expected 3 years. Like, bare minimum 3 years. Because in 2014, a wee little movie was released about 7 years ago, almost to the day, called The Lego Movie. The Lego Movie was a just global phenomenon. Big deal. Lego was running out of stock right, left, and center. So what did they do? They decided in their infinite wisdom, let's go ahead and try and control the demand. Because demand is through the roof. We weren't expecting that. We're not prepared for it. So, you know what? Cut marketing. Slash it. Just absolutely demolish it. No marketing for basically anything. So Bionicle comes back in 2015, which for a Lego theme to begin with, especially an original Lego theme like Bionicle, that's a big deal in and of itself. But it comes out, and there's basically no marketing. Most of the time, if you ask someone, hey, that is a Bionicle fan, because there are a lot of them, and we can get to that. If you ask them, did you know it came back? They're more than likely going to tell you no. If they're not in the community, they probably didn't hear about it because every single Lego theme got their marketing slashed, and Bionicle was heavily affected by that. So we go into 2015. The people working on it were not the people that worked on it originally. And so it already has a completely different tonality, completely different atmosphere, completely different feel, where it wants to capture new fans, a younger audience, which is kind of anti what Bionicle did to begin with. But it also wants to capture old fans and hope that the old fans kind of make up for the marketing cuts. So it goes out there. Nobody finds out about it. Old fans are kind of ticked off because it's not really the same atmosphere. It's not what made Bionicle really cool to begin with. New fans aren't really invested because it's not doing what the original did in capturing an older audience to get a younger one. And then it goes into the next year, has a short Netflix series, which had a Netflix series at least for 5 episodes, and then it gets preemptively canceled with a small conclusion. It's not just that people didn't buy it. The sets are generally well received. It's that what made it really interesting to begin with simply wasn't there, and nobody knew that it came out because everything had its marketing cut.
I want to refer to what Brickstar said in here a little bit earlier. Bionicle fans don't know how to buy unless someone tells them. Well, not necessarily, because even as much as Lego can make the product and put it on shelves and us as Lego people know about it, the typical fan of Bionicle in the early 2000s or whatever, who's out of Lego, who would probably buy one on a whim because it was their childhood, was not properly marketed to because they are not in our ecosystem. So in order for Lego to be successful, any Lego product, it needs to go outside of, it's not just this community, it's not AFOLs. It needs to hit the mass market, and it needs to hit effectively. And I agree that Bionicle didn't the first time because it didn't have the same push as it did that first time. So
yeah,
I wholeheartedly agree.
In 2001, it was kind of a surprise. Like, make no mistake, all of the ingredients for Bionicle, the creators have said this. It is, in a lot of ways, lightning in a bottle. All of the right elements came together. It made this spectacular thing. Lego was experimenting with their own themes. They saw how Star Wars was doing, and they were like, Star Wars is doing really great. But we pay a lot of money to make Star Wars. So can we do what Star Wars does, but for us without all the extra money? So they did Slicers for a year. Test the waters. Super popular. It almost continued for more than 1 or 2 years, a year and a half or what have you. But they canceled it, and it's like, oh, shoot, we maybe shouldn't have done that. All right, what about Robo Riders? All right, yeah, no, that's kind of good. And meanwhile, all this Bionicle stuff is kind of coming together. It's like this team of people from all over the world, not even just people in Lego, coming together to bring all of their creative energies for this thing that, there we go, for this thing that, for all intents and purposes, no one thought was going to really take off. It didn't have the TV show. They gave that to Galador, and we see where that ended up. But no, it became a pop cultural phenomenon across the world. It was huge.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Hello, stream.
Jeff's just like kissing his wife. All right, Jeff, we get it. All right, we're having a discussion about Bionicle, and you're over here kissing your wife.
Listen,
LJ, that was beautiful, by the way. Good job.
It was so beautiful that Jeff had to kiss his wife afterwards.
I've been making like a lot of speeches, like just kind of off the cuff. I've been getting a lot of.
I can tell. Look at the way
wow.
you're dressed. You could be a college professor, except on something that matters.
You almost made me vote for Bionicle, but not close enough.
Oh, don't worry.
Most of the quotes.
By the end of it, I'll have you.
If there
all
were
convinced.
more people like you in the Bionicle community, LJ, it would be so much better. The
Trust
problem
me,
is
I agree.
that's where
Yeah, I agree.
That's why he can lead a cult. Totally. I mean,
Well,
it's all the big YouTube like Bionicle money I'm making.
Kirk, don't steal my joke. Kirk, don't steal
Bionicle is
my joke.
playing him.
I can't read. Hang on.
What is Bionicle and why does it
you need to
exist?
color in the letters, Kirk. It's too hard to read.
Yeah, that's for the camera.
Kirk, you need black. Sharpie.
I don't have a Sharpie with me, guys.
Who's
That is
that? Come prepared with your bits.
that is a lengthy answer that can be condensed into maybe a minute. What is Bionicle? Why does it exist?
It was. I don't.
I
want
feel
to-
like you need a fireplace and like a hot cup of coffee and just like a couple hours.
Listen to my beige/licoricey voice as I talk about Bionicle poetically
Gather
for like an
around
hour.
the fireplace. Let's listen to Bionicle.
Oh, yes.
Story.
But yeah, so I think it's been super interesting because I mean, obviously both sides going back and forth, yada yada, fan bases, yada yada yada. I think any toxicity, any anger, any irritation at any of this is completely ridiculous. It's so stupid. This should be something that we are all having fun with.
Yes.
We're all enjoying.
I
We get to
hope,
celebrate a shared hobby because it's all Lego and it's all just fun. And no matter which wins, I'm sure it's going to be an awesome set.
Yes.
Oh,
Wholeheartedly. And, and as much as we are, either for Castle or for Pirates or for Bionicle or whatever.
Paradisa.
Paradisa. There's all
You hear this lone voice in the back.
The voice of reason. The voice of reason in the background.
we can all
The
fight
only
a united front
relevant theme.
again. We can all fight a united front and say that monorail is absolutely not happening, Brickstar. You're just salty, okay? You're just salty. Monorail isn't happening.
Hey,
you're just going to have to
that
buy
would
more
make-
from
you guys
Europe or
don't
wherever
like-
country
it's
they're
not-
from. Sorry.
It's not even said that Lego will not make multiple sets out of this. They fixed their castle vote. They changed their minds. They fixed their mistake. It's not said that we won't get 4 different sets. Like Brian said, maybe once a year we're gonna get until the 100th or like whatever 95th anniversary, you name it. It's not said. Maybe Lego will see, oh my, so many people voted for this stuff. Why don't we just
I
make
know,
a set every few months or so?
I would love that. Hey, hopefully,
Right?
I mean,
it's
they
not
see the
said that
response
it's not
from
gonna
this.
happen. Who knows? Maybe they'll see the potential and money in it.
You're right. If I've been saying on this show multiple times, if they made one set a year leading from 90 to 100, where they put as much care and thought into what they did with Barracuda Bay, you do Pirates, Castle, M-Tron, do Monorail, do all of them. Do
Paradiso.
one of everything. All right, fine. Paradiso. All right, Paradiso.
I mean, look, I'm not even complaining that Fabuland wasn't even on the list. They didn't even give Fabuland the entertainment of the
I would've
No
voted
Galidor,
for
I mean,
Fabuland.
come on. No
I
Galidor.
would have definitely voted for Fabuland.
I would have voted for Fabuland. I would have made a campaign for Fabuland.
You know
I'm
what?
telling you.
Maybe even I would have voted for Fabuland because my
Heck
favorite
yeah.
part of the Lego Movie
Thank
2.
you. Thank you.
No, you're not gonna like my reason for
Oh,
it.
why?
My favorite
Why?
part of the Lego Movie 2
Don't
was when
get
it
him
was
started.
being used
No!
for slave labor. Like, all of Fabuland figures, like
Don't remind me. One of them
best,
literally dragging their
best
butt
part
on
of
the
that
floor.
movie. It was phenomenal.
Wait,
No.
speaking
Slave
of
my
Lego
people.
Movie 2, though, I forget if it was from concept art for that or for the Billion Brick Race that never happened, but there was some Lego Movie thing where they were
Lego
going to have a Bionicle type figure, a part of the crew. That would have been a great implementation of Bionicle. That would have been great.
Yeah, it was the
That
Lego
would've been
Movie 2.
interesting.
They had concepts for a character, the main character from the first Bionicle movie, also the first Lego movie. Really kickstarted their media production. We actually, so my channel, or one of the channels that I'm involved with, we did an interview with Creative Capers. They're the folks behind the original Bionicle movie trilogy. They really go in depth into it. They're phenomenal, passionate people, and they talked a lot about how that really, really kickstarted a lot of Lego's media production on large scale, and kind of inevitably led to the Lego movie and stuff like that. Little off in the weeds. In any case, so the main character from the first Bionicle film, Mask of Light, was originally conceptualized to be in the Lego Movie 2 very, very early on. Unfortunately, he didn't make it in. And I don't know if any of the reasons are public or not, but they ended up not including him.
So they were going to have the hero from the Mask of Light? Like, from the movie?
Takanuva, yeah.
Okay, I see.
That would have been really cool because that would have been a unique looking figure to add to that lineup. I thought that would have been great.
I think
Yeah,
that could have got
'cause he
new
was gonna
fans
be
into
part of,
Bionicle, too. Yeah.
He's going to be a part of Rex's crew. And, Bionicle has generally been one of two things. Either the kind of edgier Lego theme, like, ooh, we're cool. We do things the other Lego themes don't, like cut people in half and have our characters fight each other with weapons. And or it's the black sheep, where everyone's like, Bionicle pieces, trash pieces. Which, I mean, I at one point thought the same. Not about Bionicle pieces, but I thought, you know what? Some Lego pieces are not really compatible. Some of them don't have connection points. I realized the error of my ways because I was proven that those pieces I thought were kind of garbage could still be used in creative and incredible ways. And it's like, all right, so the reason I thought they were garbage was because of my own limitations. I just didn't have the imagination to figure out how this could be used. I don't think there's a bad Lego piece. At least I haven't been introduced to one.
That's deep.
I think Joshua could agree that even when you're looking around on the convention floor of a show, you can see what the Bionicle pieces are able to be used for, and they're very unique and very distinct in style and are still perfectly usable. It's just not implementing, I think, enough newer building techniques of the new pieces or what's available. They're sticking within that Bionicle system. And I think I've talked to you about this, LJ, maybe on your show, but they're not expanding too much more outside of that sphere and embracing more of it. It's still very contained, and that's limiting people's creativity or just the growth overall too.
I wonder, I've given this a little bit of thought, and obviously it's been a little while since we've had a Lego convention to actually kind of see these. But part of me wonders if it's two things. One, Bionicle is a branch of the Technic system. And in a lot of ways, that's where the majority of its compatibility comes heavily into play. Make no mistake, Bionicle pieces are still compatible with traditional system. It's just a matter of figuring out how that integration works. Yeah. So, one, most people are definitely leaning far more heavily into the Technic-based building systems, which, I mean, at that point, the argument can be made. It's just, don't fear the man that's practiced 10,000 kicks, fear the man that's practiced one kick 10,000 times. It's kind of that situation. The other thing is a lot of LEGO conventions feature a lot of the same mockists. You're going to see most of the main big line Bionicle mockists at most of these conventions. I know one of the largest Bionicle fan websites, BZ Power, they'll have like Andrew Boltop, phenomenal guy, by the way. He will have people send mocks to him and he will take them around the convention circuit. And I know that a lot of the other BZ Power staff who are prolific mockers, they will also go to this convention circuit. So you'll see a lot of the same mocks, a lot of the same similar styles, all super impressive, all usually intermixing construction, Bionicle pieces, and system. Really, really impressive stuff. But again, there's a lot of it at a lot of these conventions a lot of the time.
That's very true.
This whole thing reminds me of in the early, maybe late 90s, when it got announced that comic book movies were going to be a thing, right? So, like, in the 80s, we had Keaton Batman, and then we got the X-Men, right? And everybody was super excited about the X-Men, because it's like, oh, man, an X-Men movie, finally, they'll do it right. And then it was Wolverine and His Amazing Friends. And it feels that way with, like, Bionicle, where, like, y'all know you want X. Most of you, like, the ones that have a good head on their shoulders, the ones that aren't, like, waiting to jump off the bridge with the rest of people, like, they know that they're not going to get, like, the preem choice Bionicle, this is how it used to be back in the day when I was your age, blah, blah, blah. And it reminds me of that, because, like, people were super excited about a thing that had so much potential and a thing that had so much whatever, and then it was, poo-poo. And I'm worried that is not worried. I'm convinced that that's almost going to happen with what you guys get. Like, no matter what LEGO does, there's always going to be, like, a group of people that are, like, getting out the pitchforks and the torches and ready to burn the place down because it's not X, Y, or Z. And I don't know. I think that it's just going to be disappointing to a degree.
I think that can be applied to a lot of different groups and a lot of different communities.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not just Bionicle specific. Like, even if they've got, like, Castle or Classic Space.
I mean, we're seeing it with Castle right now. I haven't looked too heavily into it, but the medieval blacksmith shop, I'm hearing a lot of controversy from that. To me, that's a Castle set. It's from ideas, but it's certainly within the Castle theme. And I'm hearing some blowback on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with pirates. So it's like, it's going to happen with everyone. Bionicle fans are generally quite vocal because there's a lot of division and fractioning with the Bionicle community, because Bionicle to a lot of different people means a lot of different things, because there are so many different avenues in which you can experience it, you can explore, you can get into it through the movies, the products. There was an online video game called the Matanui Online Game. It's super popular. It is intrinsically that theme. Like, usually if you go into the theme, that's your starting point. And it was for a lot of people on the website. You have comic books. So many comic books. You have over 40 novels that you can investigate and get invested in through that. There are just so many different avenues. And so Bionicle to a lot of different people means a lot of different things. So at the end of the day, you're never going to please everyone. You're definitely never going to make everyone happy. And so it's important to try and capture what makes that theme. And if you asked me, I talked about this very recently on a podcast called Mac and Jay. If you ask me, what makes the theme Bionicle is not ball and socket systems. It doesn't matter what medium it is in. What matters is that atmosphere of intrigue, of character. Because it's such a character-centric series. Most Lego sets are generally about structures. They're about vehicles. They're about something that minifigures will interact with. Bionicle definitely broke that mold, no pun intended, because it was character-centric. It was about individuals. And it was about individuals doing things with purposes and intents and all sorts of stuff like that. Not to say other LEGO themes do not have that and there isn't character focus. It's just product-wise, there's a far different character focus. But if you can encapsulate that character focus into a set, no matter the medium, I think you'll please a lot more people than you won't.
That's why I supported the idea set that they had, the tribute set that came out that guy put together, that got shot down because, as much as I rag on Bionicle, which is a lot because it's horrible, the lore of that stuff was super important because I understand like story drives fandoms. Like if it's just masks and ball joints, who cares? But there's a story behind all of it, which matters a lot. And I think that as like the older people, like people my age, people Brixar's age, we're so used to Castle and making up our own stories. And like that's why we're not so big on themes and stuff, because our imaginations when we were younger did this, did that. And it seems like when Bionicle happened, they were like, here's the story, here's what's happening, go. And like it just seemed like it was from my perspective, not everybody's perspective, it seemed like Lego was like, this is how you play with these. And in my mind, that's why Galador failed too, because these are these people, these are their backstories, this is how it all happened. As opposed to like a minifigure that I don't have nearby.
Galador just sucks too. Let's not get it twisted. It sucks.
Well,
Galador system.
Like a minifigure, right? Like, who's this guy? Why is he dressed like that? That's all up here. But if you get like, if somebody hands you like a Bionicle that's a certain X, Y, or Z, it's this guy, he's got this and he can do this. It's like
well, then how are themes that are licensed like so successful? Like Star Wars is based on here's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
Right. That's the thing, Justin, is I'm not a fan of the Star Wars sets.
Well, there you go.
That's not an answer.
No, it's not. It's not an answer. So like even like with DC Comics, right? Like nobody knows who this is because nobody read comics in the 90s. But it's Steel. It's a DC comic character. And the idea is that, in your head you write your own stories and things like that. But with Bionicle, it feels like it was so ingrained, same with Star Wars, that if you like it took everything away, like all of your imagination. Like, well, they're doing this and this because it happened in this comic book, it happened in this TV show, it happened in this movie. So we're reenacting that, or we are replaying that. And it just doesn't seem like super original. And like, that's not to say that it's not original. Like, Bionicle is a great, like, bit of writing. Okay, like their storyline is a great bit of writing. All of the things that go involved with that is great writing. It's great lore. It's great backstory. It's great world building. But I think that, like with Star Wars and all the other themes and things like that, it robs the imagination a little bit. Unless you're building, and then you can build whatever you want.
I see where you're coming from, and I certainly don't agree because I know, because I grew up with it. I literally like remember as a kid just playing with the toys, and like I knew what was going on. I read the comics, I read the novels. I could have absolutely at any point I wanted to just reenact the story. Story never hindered me. So in the Bionicle community, story is certainly a heavy component to Bionicle, because for a lot of people it's what helped Bionicle rise above just being another product, another toy. And very similarly, Ninjago is following in those footsteps. And so what we do right now on my website, our website, the TTV message boards, we have Lego author Greg Farshty. He's the current editorial director for the group, like the Lego group. He's on the website, and he still answers fan questions. Well, what we have been doing, we've been hosting contests. There are characters written in Bionicle stories by Greg Farshty that never got actual appearances. Never got one. They showed up in writing only. So what we've been doing to kind of encourage creativity, encourage this community conversation and activity and interactivity, is we've been hosting contests ordained by Greg Farshty, representing the Lego group, to give these characters appearances. People will there's like a framework, like this character's blue and has a mace. People will make their interpretation of that, go to the polls, be voted upon. We send it to Mr. Farshty, and he's like, yep, all right. That's the canon appearance. And we heard a lot of response from people saying, you're limiting creativity. You're giving them an appearance now, and now you're taking that creativity away from someone else. This little figure, the red, white, or red, yellow, and blue guy right up here, his name is Takua. Takua.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Takua showed up in the very first game, the very first media. You played as him in the very first game. His appearance has been known since 2001. People have recreated him. They have made their own versions of him. They have remodeled, remocked, just done all sorts of things to recreate this figure as different characters, as different versions of different characters for 20 years. I am not sure I understand the belief that just because something exists means that creativity is in any way hindered. Bionicle 2001 especially was a sandbox. It was a world that you could play in. They had locations, they had flora and fauna, there were things to do, locations you could experience, especially in terms of the game. There was always somewhere you could be. That, for a lot of fans, was a place for their imagination to run wild. They could make their own stories. Maybe Liwa swinging through the vines and he runs into Toakopaka and they fight a Muaga. It doesn't matter. They can come up with their own thing. They can insert their own characters into it. I've seen so much incredible creativity and reimagination and reconstruction and just having your own spin on something because it gives these aspiring writers, aspiring creators a place to start.
The beauty of this conversation is you're both right in your own ways, technically, in a way.
LJ, yeah, you make a lot of fantastic points, and I do appreciate you coming on the stream and also hearing your thoughts on stuff. And the more I listen to you talk, yeah, the Bionicle fan community just needs like a massive marketing overhaul. So like you're talking about how like character driven the sets are. And I think that's one of the big problems at conventions, because if you go to a Lego show, like Brick Fair Virginia is certainly the #1 example of this, where most of the Bionicle fans are. The most Bionicle builds of any Lego convention in the world show up at Brick Fair Virginia. And you walk over, say you're not a big Bionicle fan or you don't really know much about the theme, to the Bionicle display sections, there's no accessibility there, because the way the Bionicle creations are displayed is like super packed into a table. There's a bunch of these characters. A lot of them look pretty similar. Yeah, they're creative builds, and I've never argued at all that like Bionicle pieces aren't real Lego pieces. You can be super creative with it. We've featured some mocks over the years from Bionicle builders. You can't argue at all that it's not like a creative medium with which to build, but the accessibility isn't there at all. When you're walking around a convention, I walk over to the Bionicle area, I have no idea what any of these characters are. There's no story there. There's no way for someone new to kind of get into what's going on with that area. And the people who are there displaying stuff are usually super knowledgeable and they kind of know what's going on. But I feel like if there was a more concerted effort among the Bionicle community to be like, okay, you know, we want people to kind of understand what's so great about this theme, what's going on here. So let's see if we can display our builds and do this in a way that really gets people more interested, because I think that's certainly one of the big struggles at conventions. I know for myself, and I think this is true for a lot of other people, it just feels like it's separate from the rest of what's going on there.
Yeah. No, I certainly think there's a lot of truth to that. And I don't know how you would go about addressing kind of like a rebranding of the Bionicle community, because in a lot of ways it's very complex. Like there are a lot of different layers to this cake, because on the one hand you have the Bionicle. For anyone that isn't familiar, I keep on saying construction. It's shortened for constructible action figure. This is a phrase that first appeared in Galador, actually, on one of the Nick Bluetooth sets, like one of the powered up mode ones. New constructible action figure, construction. So ball and sockets, Bionicle Hero Factory, stuff like that. It's quickly known as here is construction. So I definitely you have construction, which is often regarded in a lot of the Lego community and sometimes a lot of just the outside world as is that really Lego? Because of course Lego is traditionally and most well known as brick-based building. Make no mistake, anyone that tells you otherwise either has only experienced Bionicle or is trying to sell you something, and you shouldn't buy it. So there's definitely this disconnect between common Lego and construction. So you have that to contend with. Then you have a lot of the inter-community stuff. You have the Bionicle community, which is certainly rowdy, make no mistake. There's like an entire philosophy behind Bionicle fans, like who they marketed Bionicle for. Literally, I think they call it the Bionicle boy. They have this whole psychological markup on who the theme was marketed towards. Fascinating stuff. So you have this rowdy community, and then you have the rest of the Lego community, which is obviously very invested in fairly common Lego system. And so the system community is kind of looking at this community, and it's like, okay, no, not on board, not on board. So then this one feels like, well, these guys are super weird. And then they're like, hey, why are you calling us weird? We're just like you guys. And so then you have that conflict. And then finally, you just have the fact that Bionicle is, it's really unique. It's just so unique. There are so many different facets to it. And there is a lot to get into. I mean, it spanned for 10 years, a little longer than that after the product line ended. The author still answers fan questions. There are still things technically being added to it. So there's a lot of complexity. That story complexity is certainly one of the main reasons why the theme was shuttered in 2010. Because you have all this backlog of story. It gets harder to get into. It's just this continuous stream of continuity that you need to keep track of. Like, why do you think comics keep on reinventing or rebooting themselves? It's because it's easier to start from a new point. Bionicle never really had that. And so that kind of buckled under its own weight. Certainly one of the main reasons. And so there you have all these different things. And I'm not really sure where you begin addressing that other than just letting people experience the theme, what they can of it, and then allow them to decide whether or not it's for them or whether or not, they want to just appreciate the creativity of building techniques from a lot of those tables. I'm just not totally sure.
I want to highlight this comment here from Isabel. LJ is the John Mulaney of Lego. That is so true. John Mulaney is one of my favorite comedians, so I think that's about the highest compliment you can give someone. So I would take that with pride, LJ.
I certainly do. So I've gone on a long-standing crusade that so there's a character in Bionicle, and I've always been like, you know what? If it ever comes back, I want to voice that character. I want to be the voice of that one. And I've done this for years in fan projects all over the place. I've voiced that character and become a little synonymous in the community for it. And I've been asked, who would you like cast as that character? Like, if you had to choose a celebrity. And I'm like, only one person. It's John Mulaney. The only one I'm fine with. He's the only one I'd be like, yes.
LJ,
my hand is wet. I washed my hands.
Whoever you talk to about getting the Liwa hookup for the role, make sure you get me to play Thok. Okay, as long as I get to play Thok, we're good.
Hang on. You know what? I'll audition you right now as you ordained me the Bionicle King. Go ahead and say Yo-Yo Paraka in your best Thok voice.
Oh gosh.
Yo-Yo Paraka.
Yep. So 100%. I'm typecasting you from here on out. You're only going to be Thok and
that's beautiful.
Anything.
Good luck breaking out of that role, Brian.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
But yeah, no, it's just very fascinating because I definitely feel like everyone just needs to relax. They just need to kick back. They need to have a good time. Like, I've been having so much fun. I don't think Bionicle is going to get a set. I would like it to because I'm obviously a fan. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Bionicle is going to have enough votes. I think it is going to Castle. And that's fine. That's totally fine. At this point, all I want Lego to know is that there's still an interest in Bionicle. There is still a good reason to make a Bionicle set We're still going to encourage supporting Bionicle projects on Lego Ideas. And I want the rest of the community, the adult fan of Lego community, the system community, to understand there's good reason to like Bionicle too. You know, it's not just a weird ball and socket system. There's a lot of merit to it. It did a lot of good. It got a lot of people invested in a lot of different creative avenues. And it's just as creative as any other Lego theme you can think of.
I agree.
Absolutely.
All right, fair enough. Can you tell your Bionicle friends to stop being weirdos all the time, though, about everything? That'd be super.
See, you're making a lot of assumptions there. We call ourselves gathered friends. That is not exactly applicable. Emphasis on gathered.
Right. After that, then can we focus all this energy for me and Justin to get Princess Castle? Just harness energy, you know? I don't want Castle for that reason, because that might take a little merit away from that happening. So I'll let people have
hopefully it happens.
fingers crossed, man.
I think we get Luigi's Mansion sets before we'll get Princess Peach's Castle.
Oh no! I mean, I would like that still. I would mind that one bit. Yeah. I hope you're right on that one too.
Brian,
I want some minifigure Mario characters still. Come on.
We're getting construction back before we get a Princess Peach's Castle. I'm just
don't say that. Don't say that. No.
Justice reaction priceless.
No, you can't say that. No,
You cannot do that. No.
You are the embodiment of coiled back.
Like Brian's face and Justin's voice, like the perfect combination.
No.
No. We'll get a Princess Peach's Castle made entirely out of construction.
Oh gosh.
No.
Okay, we have a super chat, by the way. There is a super chat.
You can read it. Go ahead. If you want to.
What, me?
Yeah, you or I mean, okay, what's
Elijah, there you go.
I've got it. All right. Chronosaur 417 donated $4.99. Thank you. With this message, I loved Bionicle growing up, even though I never learned of the actual story until 2004. We thought Gally was a dude and Makuta was a bigger Toa. And see, that's the thing. Is like there's so many different layers and levels and avenues of which people are invested in it. Like I'm obviously someone that's super friggin' invested in it. Like to a potentially unreasonable degree. But you know what? We all have our vices. Mine is just canceled themes. But
like parodies.
But, like you got people that only watch the movies. You got people that attach pins to their suits. You got people that didn't know certain characters or XYZ ABC that just like the product. You know, there are a lot of different levels. It's very interesting.
Esh Daddy says, will someone tell Kirk to take a break? No one else can get a word in edgewise.
I've been trying so hard. I swear. I really have. But LJ starts talking, and nothing against you, LJ, because I do enjoy the conversation. But LJ starts talking, and it's like a long explanation or something. And so like, I don't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I've been
fine.
waiting
I don't
for
want to
so
interrupt
long.
because like, you're taking time to explain your side of everything, and it's like, okay, I'm listening. And as soon as you finish, then someone else says something, and then you go right back. So it's like, okay, I gotta wait again. But no, I will say, I will say that in regards to this whole thing, I don't think Bionicle's going to win either. I find it funny though, because I thought we were going into this conversation because Bionicle did win for some reason. Because for some reason, and someone told me that Bionicle won the vote, and I was like, wait, what? I'm not aware of that. I thought there was supposed to be another vote, like the final vote thing or whatever happening, which is still true.
The first vote on those results, technically yes, but they haven't won the nomination for
the second vote ends tomorrow.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so I don't see it happening. I think it's probably. I feel like it should probably go to Castle. To be honest, I feel like that if we get a nice like 90th anniversary Castle set, I think there's a lot of potential there. In regards to Bionicle, I wouldn't say I hate it. I didn't like collect much of it. I remember seeing like I guess the older sets that I'm trying to remember. I think they came in like boxes, like how you would get regular system sets. I remember seeing those on like shelves at some point. Never picked them up. At one point, I even picked up, I think maybe like 1 or 2 of like the reboot that happened, but I didn't really care much about those and eventually sold them. It's an interesting theme. I think if anything, probably care more about, I guess, like the custom build, like mocks that people make using the same pieces because they're more detailed and like fully, I guess, like detailed and much more interesting, if that makes sense. But that's really about it. That's really all I can say about the theme. But for me personally, I really can't say that I see it happening as a theme for 90th anniversary.
I don't think it's going to happen. I obviously want it to, but I think it is going to Castle.
Yeah. Castle, it seems very likely.
Here we have still Brickstar in the chat saying train predates Castle and every other theme, but it was on the. You guys in the back are like, but these trains, everybody. Like, all right, you three, Justin and you two, can be in the back talking about these things.
Hey, Brickstar loves Fabuland too. So
great, awesome.
So made a second one that Brickstar's going off the rails.
I see what you did there.
He's been training for this.
I see what you did there.
Thank you, LJ, for joining us. We're kicking you off of the live stream for that awful pun. That is disgusting.
Oh,
all right, fine then. I will leave, and I'll take.
No. You don't have. You don't actually.
I was going to say I'm actually going to leave. All right, it was great.
Okay. For an hour this time. I'm so proud.
I know. Look at that. I was there for more than 2 minutes. Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
He just left.
He's fat.
Hey, we got a super chat.
If Bionicle comes back, I hope they pick up the story before the ending gets truncated. Also, more girl characters, please. I don't think the fan art needs more girl characters. I think we're good on that front.
That's a great name, though. That's Fuzz Buns.
Yeah.
That's a great screen.
It definitely should not take off. It should not pick up after the story end. I
didn't know that Brickstar was Justin's father. Fabuland for life, y'all. Okay, so I guess
there's a lot of revelations happening today.
Yeah, we got Esh Daddy and we got Brickstar. Okay.
I mean, where else are we going to get all the people to make more Bionicle sets? Fabuland can come back for that purpose.
I also saw somewhere, I think it was on Twitter or Instagram, someone shared that someone got VoiceOver Pete to do a thing. Yes. And I was like, who is the person that thought to do this? I laughed my head off, but it's like, I don't, you guys are that serious about it to actually get him I see. You know what? We just need to find, you know what? We need Joshua Hamlin himself to go contact Tom Hanks and just get Tom Hanks to say something for, I don't know, Castle or some other theme involved in this voting thing. And I think that'll work. That'll definitely work.
It's all about the typewriter for him. You know, you guys, you can't shoehorn him into other themes. It's just the typewriter.
Oh, man.
Hey, speaking of Lego idea, can we switch into this topic now? Is this can we make a transition content-wise into the next thing here? LJ, are you still rocking with us? Or are you going to bow out?
That depends on what you want me to do. I want
you here for as long, for eternity. I want you in this live stream until Bionicle comes back in 2097.
We should give LJ a chance real quick. He's never actually, I don't think, had an opportunity to say like what, if you want to give people like where you hang out online or what you do, like a chance to plug yourself real quick, since you've obviously you've given us all this information, you've taken the time to enlighten us. You should tell people watching where they can find you online and maybe more information.
Sure. Yeah, no. So I'm in a few different places. Just as a quick precursor, I've been making videos for over 10 years. I've been a part of the Lego and Bionicle community for, it's going to be 16 years, I believe, this year. 15 or 16, something like that. Or 17. Anyway, so I normally hang out on YouTube. I co-founded and co-run a channel called the TTV channel. Not related to Twitch whatsoever. I promise you, we had that in 2010. I'm also on Twitter at the LJ Johnson, JOHNSEN. LJ Johnson is also the name of my YouTube channel, where I will occasionally upload reviews. And I did a series called The LJ Johnson Show, where I did one-on-one interviews with people from all different branches of the LEGO community. It's on a hiatus right now. I intend to bring it back. But the TTV channel is the primary place to find me. It is Bionicle and Ninjago and Lego centric, of course. Our histories in Bionicle. You're going to find every single set reviewed for the Bionicle theme on that channel. I made them. So definitely, yeah, that's where you can find me.
On the TTV channel, you have every single set. It has a review on there.
Yeah, I am currently the only person to have reviewed every Bionicle set released. I own them all, obviously. And yeah, if there is, I can't vouch for their quality, but every single Bionicle set has been reviewed. I have a video for everyone.
That is very impressive, and that's what I appreciate about you is your dedication to the craft, LJ, and your approach to the community. So I'm glad you could join us today.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you. Oh,
the best person
thanks
to
for
talk
letting me.
about
This
it,
has been a blast. I watched the other podcast and I was like, oh man, I've got so much I want to say. And it's like, it's gonna be so much
be a better
fun.
person to talk about Bionicle if I now that I hear what you're doing. That's awesome.
It was fun talking to you again, LJ. That's for sure. Talking with you at the live stream, that was a good time. So
Yeah, no, this has been great. You guys are awesome. And you know what? Even if we don't all agree which theme should win, we all like Lego.
Exactly. Very true.
That's what the community is all about.
But I am curious, what's the next topic? I'm
I'd say the next topic is talking about the latest review session for Lego Ideas. What got approved, but more disappointingly, what got disapproved?
Oh my!
The set that got approved though is pretty incredible.
So that's where you run the intro, John. If you want to clip this out, do the whole thing there. All right, so. We should pull up the list first. I should not just segue into the topic and then
with zero preparation as always. That's what Brian Saviano brings.
That's all we ask for. And
here we go. So the latest thing to get approved on the Lego Ideas docket was announced just the other day. It is the Vincent van Gogh Starry Night. That is what got through in this session as a part of the review wave. But not just that, because pending from the last review session was a Sonic Lego Ideas submission, which actually got through as well. So technically 2 models have gotten through, but normally when Lego does that thing where they're like, hey, we're still thinking about this, maybe, usually it's going to happen. So we kind of knew Sonic probably yes, and they worked with Dimensions before, so it was we had a relatively rough idea. I saw this review period, and I'm like, man, lot of things here missing the mark, man. Not gonna lie to you. Look at all those red fat X's, Joshua. Look at all of them.
Before we get to that though, I just want to take a moment to appreciate this Van Gogh project because there has rarely been a Lego set announcement that has spoken to me on such a deep level as this set. The level of build quality in this, if you pull up this image here, this is not an easy build to do. The way that the builder used these pieces here to create not only the background, but then the layering of, all of the sky in the background and then the city and the hills and the trees there with creating foreground and depth. That is just as in real art. This is an extremely difficult thing to do. And I had the chance to chat with this builder when this project was trying to achieve 10,000 votes. So you can find that interview on the channel. But this is a really incredible build just from build quality and then also the source material. Obviously, what I would argue, and I think most people would agree, one of the most famous paintings of all time. Even if you know nothing about kind of art history, you probably recognize this painting. And so capturing that at such a level is just incredible. And I cannot wait to see. I really hope Lego does not try to simplify this design too much or make it dumb it down in any way, because this is a fantastic project and I'm so glad that it has been chosen to be made. I'm a massive fan of Van Gogh's work. Whenever Timmy and I are traveling in the old days when we used to be able to travel places, we would always make it a point to try to, if we're visiting art museums, to try to see any Van Goghs on display. The Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, big shout out to them. If anyone's ever in Amsterdam, really, really incredible collection there. Definitely recommend visiting. Lots of incredible stuff on display. So before we get into all of the other projects, which were turned down, and there's some good stuff there, I want to just give a big shout out to this project in the builder because it's really incredible and I think it's going to look great.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And I think that for that build specifically, if they dumb it down too much, that's going to take away from the detail that this set is meant to replicate, because the initial artwork is incredibly detailed and so stylized in a very specific way. And this does capture it very well. So I love the use of 3D here and the way that it's all done. Jeff, what do you want?
You went to Amsterdam and all you did was go to the museum?
That's not all we did. I mean, I can't talk about some of the things we did.
All right, Joshua.
Yeah, it's very nicely done. And, you know, maybe one of the ears on the minifigure will be missing. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they'll figure it out somehow.
LJ's about to broke. It's fine. LJ,
It's
you good, buddy?
What's up?
You good?
Oh yeah, no, I'm holding back my laughter.
That's
your
right.
comment.
He's had some fun in Amsterdam too. So
I want to talk about the next one that got canceled.
no,
bro. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Let Kirk Wilson talk.
Yeah, let me. Hey! Let me speak.
Oh,
Darn it!
Hey,
Whoa, look at Kirk asserting himself. There you go. Good job.
Oh, Kirk, I'm proud of you.
All right, pull up the list. Pull up the list. All right. The first thing that I am very disappointed in that got rejected.
Animal Crossing.
I will not say that, although I have been playing that game and I've been enjoying it recently a lot. But it would be Avatar:
Yes.
The Last Airbender.
Yes.
We lost
Mini
the real
Brick.
one. Mini Brick, if you're in the chat, it's so sad to see that happened. I really wanted that to happen a lot. I think both me and Brian and anyone else that enjoys the show really would have wanted that to happen.
And
But
Joshua.
And
Yeah,
Joshua. 'cause he
no,
has
as a
been-
new
yeah,
fan to the show, I recently had Mini Brick on the Idea Spotlight. Great builder. Great guy to chat with. It's a real shame. I would have loved to see that as someone who's recently become a fan of the show. I think it would have been great.
Would like to say in a big shout out to him. I'm a big Mini Brick Productions fan. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Instead of going on these forums online and being salty, Mini Brick Productions did a very well articulated video talking about the process of Lego Ideas, why he thinks it didn't get approved, and went about it in such an articulate and professional way. And I am so incredibly happy that he has that perspective and is able to look at it in that way and present the information in that way. Big kudos to you. I know that must be heartbreaking to have the project not get through, especially it being Avatar, but you did an excellent job with that, sir. Very, very big fan. Okay.
That's awesome. I'm glad you pointed that out because I hadn't seen that, Brian. But that's more of what we need in the Lego community. And I think what LJ has brought with Bionicle, but just that like level-headedness where it's not like a knee-jerk reaction, it's not super emotional, it's not over the top. It's, hey, let's take a second, let's think about this, let's explain why the process works this way and what has happened here. And then, you know, we can understand each other better and we can move on from there. So I'm glad to hear that, Brian.
And you know what also helps with that though is that he has another project on the docket with Polar Express. So he's also not out of the fight there. And yeah, of course he's upset by it and it's a whole big thing and he's super bummed about it, as he's saying in the chat right here. But you know, there's always new chances and new opportunities, especially with Polar Express or anything else. So just because one idea might not go through, who knows what could happen in the future and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I think we're overdue for an Avatar set because of how great the show is in terms of a legacy. And just because the show is outdated doesn't mean that it could not come out, because they came out with Lego Tron, and Disney will not make another Tron movie because I actually watched that movie recently. Don't tell the internet, guys. That movie's kind of overrated. It's kind of whatever on Tron. 2010, sorry. Not that great. All right. So, you know, and Gravity Falls.
Liked Tron. I thought it was good. Go ahead.
Hey.
He also has Gravity Falls in the pipe work as well. That actually did get 2,000 votes ready to go. I'm not a fan, so I forgot. But
did you say Tron was overrated?
Yes, the 2010 Tron overrated. Nothing happens. Anyways, so there's a whole lot of other sets on this docket that got disapproved.
I want to talk about the next one.
Yes.
Good.
The Western Studio.
Yes.
That was one that I was watching since it first went up, and I went, holy crap, that would be awesome to have. The Western Studio was my favorite pick of all of this. It felt like an original theme. It felt like that hit every mark for me. I was like, you get a cool building, you get like, you know, that would be a nice display set for our living room coffee table, and it was going to be until it didn't happen. But like that was the pinnacle of like, this is an awesome idea because one, it's combining Western, and two, it's combining studios. Maybe not so much original at that point, but I mean, it was just a really cool idea, and like it had the makings for a great set, and just
What also did that is entirely original is the Seasons in Time calendar. Why
I don't get it.
That's what I was rooting for. I really wanted that Seasons in Time calendar because it's just so cool. I love that. And you have the literal seasons, and it's a calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It seems like something Ideas would want to make. Like it sort of fits within that category of this that they're like used to making. So why not go with that? There's like is able to be used in your home, real life, but it also looks like a very well put together model. And the fact that it got rejected is just like why?
And it has a lot of use. It has a lot of practical use.
Exactly.
I think the only reason they wouldn't is because they already kind of technically have a calendar. Like those cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be the only read. Like it's a simpler creation. It's far more straightforward. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of that, it's not quite nearly as cool.
Yeah.
So, but it is effective.
The other one that I'm seeing a lot of people be upset about on this list, because it's actually gotten to 10,000 votes in a few different forms before, is Ratatouille. And especially considering that incredible amount of kitchen detail that the set has. And because it's Ratatouille, in the same vein as Wall-E, I feel like in terms of appreciation among Pixar fans, that same caliber, I'm surprised that Lego hasn't taken notice yet, at least, that we've seen, about Ratatouille being realized in some way, because it is a great movie. It has such a vibe, and they could have had a really cool set with the kitchen aesthetic and doing some incredible details in there. So that's disappointing as well.
I'm impressed. I'm simply impressed that it made it twice. Yeah. Not to discourage what it is. I'm not very familiar with Ratatouille by any stretch of the imagination, but I've never seen a project go through, get rejected, basically just relaunch it with slight alteration and get approved again. Like that alone is impressive to me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The next set that was kind of disappointing, I know I'm probably going to be the only one on this panel that thinks so, was the cars. The orange and white car, I can't remember what they were called, but with how well Speed Champions does or didn't, and how well the cars just do in general, I was looking forward to having those cars, like to seeing those cars on the shelves too. Like, I really like cars. I'm not a car guy, but I'm a Lego car guy. So like, it would have been neat to add that to the arsenal, as it were, and learn some new building techniques, like we did with Gift with Purchase, and just stuff like that. Would have been cool to have. I'm bummed that we're not going to get more things like that, and instead we're getting Sonic the Hedgehog. And the Starry Night one, though, is what Joshua said. I'm very impressed with it. It does touch my soul as well. I do like that painting a lot. We've got a print of it in the house ourselves. But, like, there could have been better things.
So this raises a question now about what Lego Ideas mentioned kind of offhand in a blog post a couple, months back, was about how they took a poll from AFOLs and were like, hey, what if we brought the rejected non-IP Lego sets from Ideas, 10,000 vote accumulation, whatever, not all of them, but some of them, and brought them into that Bricklink studio designer program that the Saloon was from, the arcade, Boons, Fire Truck, all that. So I think you're going to see, I would certainly hope you see a lot of these in there, because there's a lot of quality non-licensed things in here that would make way too much sense to have as an actual Lego set. And I hope that when Lego does that at some point, hopefully by next year, we'll have them on shelves or available, that they give it the same amount of time and consideration. And more importantly, as we've learned from the Bionicle discussion, the marketing for it to really get the name out there and make it an actual product that people are aware of, because they are still quality models done by quality designers. So we know nothing of it yet, but that is still to be determined when and what.
That's going to be an interesting project when that happens with Bricklink. It's smart, but it's also dangerous, like with what they're doing, because, I mean, we can't speak for every Lego fan or every Bionicle fan. But, like, there's things that people want, and there's, things that happen on the idea set. Like, if we got the tribute set to Bionicle, I would probably buy it on Bricklink, because it was a good set. It was fun. But that's not, like, everybody's cup of tea. It would have to be specific things that people want and yada shmata. And, they won't make a lot of them. Like, I remember trying to buy the 8-stud house from Bricklink when it happened, and I missed out on it. And now it's like $800, and I'm like, hard pass. No, thank you. It's good, but it's not that good.
Really? That's a lot of money.
Some of those Bricklink sets escalated massively on the aftermarket. It was crazy.
The saloon did not, because I sold it and it did not retain its value that much.
That's because you're supposed to hold on to it because it's a cool Western set, Brian.
Listen, I got to consolidate. Okay, sorry.
Like a sick Wookiee or something.
Speaking of Western sets, a set that I thought was really cool from this, if we pull this image back up, is that Gold Rush coaster would have been would have made for a great set. Like a roller coaster, Western themed, which is a popular idea. I feel like there's these Western themed coasters seem to pop up on ideas pretty regularly. There's obviously demand for them. I think it would be really cool to see a set like that come out. So that would have been neat. And then the other one for me is the Community one. I know we get a lot of sitcom sets. The ones in the past I've never cared about. Community is one of the few sitcoms that I actually have seen a lot of and have like a lot of attachment to, and I think it's really amazing. So this one I actually would have bought. I can see LJ disagreeing with me there.
I'm so tired of sitcom sets. I
agree. I mean, yeah, we do get too many of them, so I understand. But
I don't understand why Lego made any of them, like from the get-go.
Because people age like them.
I guess so. It just
Friends. Okay, so shows like Friends and Seinfeld and Big Bang Theory, they are all mainstream. Those are the Lego sets that they put in People magazine and say, "Oh my gosh, did you see? They came out with a Friends anniversary set. Clarice, go to the store and buy." Like, that's what it is. That's who it's for. It's not for
which is one of the reasons why, going back to Mini Brick again, who has the Full House set. It's like,
there you go. Yeah.
If that reaches 10,000 votes, I think that has a very good chance, just because of how much people love Full House, how much people know what that is. It fits within that category of like Friends and all that other stuff. So I think that would be one that they would go with.
Was
it's just a matter.
Reboot? Was that one of them they rebooted? That was an old show, right? They rebooted it.
They did Fuller House on Netflix, which is like following up with the Tanner family. So DJ is older, she has children, that whole thing.
I don't know anything about the show, so
Kirk has watched all 4 seasons. I watched season 1 just to see what it was like, because I watched the reruns of Full House when I was young, and like I watched, I think halfway through season 1, and I'm like, I'm not the target demographic. I'm gonna bow out here. All right, I'm good.
Here's Mini Brick says it's his worst performing project.
And that's sad, because I would really like a set from that. Like, it's sad. I don't know. Like, again, he has a ton of other projects that are doing extremely well, but that's one of them that I'm like, okay, needs to do a bit better. I want this. I
want the 5th season of Fuller House, and I want to build that set while I watch it.
No, I honestly think that Fuller House. I watched all of it, but I didn't enjoy it that much.
You watched all 4 seasons. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but I didn't enjoy it that much.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm looking forward to the Frasier sitcom set we get next time.
Oh my gosh, no.
Hey,
now,
look,
finally, I can build a set while I eat my scrambled eggs.
Like Friends, Seinfeld, Frasier, Mad About You. That was the golden age of television for people that are me and Mike's age. Like, if you were early 20, late teen, and you were watching TV, you were watching those shows. And now those people are closer to 40 than we would like to be. And we have money, supposedly. We'll spend a couple of bucks on that. I would love a Cheers Lego set. Loser Pad Incorporated. But
what is that money you speak
of? Which one of these did you want? Mike, which one of these did you want from the latest review period?
You know what? I actually made a video about this. I tried a new format because I couldn't decide. So I challenged myself on my channel saying like, okay, can I find a reason within 5 seconds why this set was rejected? Mm-hmm. And I think I tried to agree with myself that way. And surprisingly enough, I found quick reasons for most of these. Personally, I think I would love to see the Boeing 737, as a big aircraft, for example, because I'm an aviation fan. But, seeing how they handled things with Boeing lately with the Osprey, I wouldn't count on that. Overall, I think this was the main set I really wanted to see, but most of these I found when I was like reasoning were just like quick shooting reasons for those. I think if you watch my video, you'll see that most of these were either I said something about license or something about the set being too big or straight up rejected. I think most of these sets should have been rejected in that approval stage, and that actually made an interesting discussion on one of my live streams. People saying maybe Lego should introduce more moderation to what gets allowed to be voted on, right?
Yeah, see, this is the thing, because
yeah, modulars, for example, right? Like modulars should not make the list ever, because we know they're either come in creator or not anywhere else, or same like creator cars like that Trabant 601, or the BMWs that are more speed champions, for example. So sets that Lego very well knows they will never make it. It's just like a participation trophy. Like, okay, people can vote for it. We know before you even get to that review stage, we know this set will not happen. Like, we know as a Lego group. So they should probably, in order to save themselves from a lot of work and having like 35 review project stages, I think they should totally moderate more and get things that have actual chance of becoming a thing. Maybe they see, okay, this might be a thing. We don't know if we can get the license yet, but at least we can talk to this IP holder and see if that's possible, right?
Well,
but things like modulars should not be even included, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing about the whole situation and what Mini Brick pointed out in his video with Avatar is you can still submit an Avatar Lego set on ideas. Now, this may just be me being, looking at his project and seeing Appa with all the characters and whatnot. If you're making an Avatar set, there's no other way you're making an Avatar set other than having the big bison with all the figures. Like, you're doing nothing else. So, like, if you're not going to approve that, why even have it on the table? Just say we're not doing it and that's it. Call it a day. Or you call it a day on all IP everything and you say no more IPs, only original stuff, because it's just not going to happen.
I don't know. I think you can make some Avatar Last Airbender sets, specifically 2 of them in 2005.
No,
perhaps.
those sets were not. They were popular now because they are Avatar and it caught on afterward. Those are objectively not good sets. They are not.
Okay, yeah, those. Oh my gosh,
No, they're bad. They're not great. Like, and of course, if you're Nickelodeon and you're Lego and you're like, oh, I wonder which one's going to perform better. Is it these 2 sets based off of a 1-season animated show and the sets are kind of or is it going to be SpongeBob? I wonder which one's going to perform a little bit better here. Like,
yeah, you know what? I think like if you look at Lego Ideas as in general, I think right now this theme outgrew itself. Like the rules we're seeing in the project acceptance or the way they're voted in, the way they're accepted, are dating back like Lego Kuso. It's never changed. It's like, okay, you get 10,000 votes, you get a shot at this, right? Lego Ideas became so popular, it outgrew itself. I think at this day and age, having so many people building ideas and everything get accepted, as long as the moderator or whoever is like, okay, like let's get this project into the voting stage. And there's so many good ideas and so many sets, and this theme grew from 1 set every 2 years to like 2 or 3 or 6 sets every year. At this point, Lego should reevaluate, and they probably see the problem at this point. They never communicate this that they see the problem, but I think they see the problem, and they should either moderate it better, as I mentioned, or just make sure that either they release more sets or actually cut down the number of things in the review stage, so that way people can actually see what gets a shot. I've seen a lot of comments in the community after this reveal that people were saying, what is the point of Lego Ideas anymore? People lost trust in every review stage at this point. Like, I think you, Brian, even said it. What is the point of voting those in if pretty much we are 100% sure that they will never make it? So it gets diluted. The value of these voted sets, the value of the platform, the value of the people's voice, the democracy within Lego Ideas is diminished because of so many sets and so little moderation and so many like restrictions that they're like publicly known. Restrictions are publicly known. Like AFOS know which sets will not make it. They basically know it. Lego knows it. We know it. They still get exposed to the people, and then there's a lot of discussion like we do right now, and it just gets like there's a lot of chaotic communication here. So I think Lego Ideas should change their rules, should kind of try to modernize itself.
Well,
to what
right,
it
but
is today.
I think part of that modernization though might be with the Bricklink program, and we don't know it yet. Where they're going to take a lot of
That's
these
a
and
good
put it
point
into
too.
that.
Yeah, probably.
So, you know, you can say that right now, and you're totally right, where they're like, oh, they got to modernize it. They got to, you know, have better moderation and everything else. And maybe on their end, because we're not behind the curtain, we don't know that, yeah, they're secretly like, oh, we're going to do this exact thing. And then we're going to redeem ourselves for all these neglected projects, which makes sense. But then even with the IP stuff, clearly people want something Ratatouille, something like just something like, come on, you know, like there's no reason to not. Like it's money, it's Disney, and you know, for whatever reason, they just won't do it. They did Steamboat Willie, and that didn't sell particularly crazy well. It was relatively, it's not retired quite yet, but it's not flying. Like it's been on sale before, and if a Lego set goes on sale, that's not typically a good sign for the thing. So like, why not at least open the canister a little bit more, or just say like, yeah, we're not doing this, and that's it, and call it a day.
Yeah, I think that's a discrepancy because they say, okay, we're not doing, like, you know, you are submit a project and they will tell you like, okay, you cannot do like Star Wars IP, whatever. But it's too little too late, I think. Like right now they should include more IPs, and sometimes things like slip through the cracks, and that's the problem. So people are voicing in the comments on Lego Ideas saying like, okay, why does this project make it and it gets voted on, and this project that's kind of similar with also like a similar IP did not get in by the moderator, right? So right now it's just like, I think, lack of communication, lack of clear rules on what, like, people don't even know. There's like this list of like, okay, you can make a project from this IP, you can whatever, but I think it's like too chaotic right now. It's too like diluted. I don't like the way it is. I never made an ideas project myself, but I hear all I listen to the people of the community saying what the deal is, and I can agree with that. That is just like nobody knows. People just like make a mock, like also even local mocks. Like, okay, I'm gonna make this building in my city that I love and 10 people from my community love because we know this building, but nobody else in the world knows this building. And this still gets to the Lego Ideas, you know, so that's another problem. That projects become too local, or people don't realize when they wanna get an ideas project in, it has to be globally applicable. Like people from different countries can relate to it. Because remember, Lego is a business. Lego looks at these as potential business products. They have to make money of it. Of course, the creator gets money from getting voted in and becoming a project, a set. But Lego looks at this not only from the perspective of, okay, that's a cool set. Is that something you will like? You enter a Lego store, you see this set, will you buy it, right? So sometimes projects, you know, people don't think about it. They just like, okay, let me get some exposure. Let me get some cool, like, you know, resume achievement. My project was in Lego Ideas, and just submit it. And the moderator lets it through, and the whole purpose of the platform becomes irrelevant at this point.
Well, I mean, look at the Flintstones set that came out however many years ago. How many people were jonesing for the Flintstones after 1960? You know what I mean? Like, It was a cool set, and you know, all that fun stuff, and it was great and whatever. But I mean, anytime I go to my local Lego store, or I go to the Lego store in Texas, the Discovery set down there, that's on the shelves. It's been on the shelves.
Well, I mean, it's on the shelves here, but my understanding was always that the Flintstones might have petered off in interest in the States, but in Europe, like Germany, Sweden, areas like that,
yeah,
it has more of a foothold there. Like it is more popular there, kind of in a similar vein with DuckTales. I've heard rumors that like in Scandinavia, DuckTales is more popular than it is in the States.
Yeah.
So how is it doing there? Because those are also still large markets for Lego, like Germany, for instance.
LJ, does that mean that you've been to the Flintstone theme park on Route 66?
I was born in the Flintstones. Obviously. Look at me. I'm a caveman. I like Bionicle. No, kidding.
Yeah, Badoo. Fazum in the chat says, does the creator get money? I think a creator of a Lego Idea set that's on the shelf gets 1% of the sales. Is that correct?
Like here's how you can solve all of your Lego Ideas problems. Just bring back Lego Factory.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Chris, Fazum, and Mark are both, I don't want to say this, they're both tragedies of the Lego Factory thing, because they had Star Skulls and Star Justice back in the day. And if you remember, you know, you got two big sets for bad guys and good guys. The torsos were stickers. Everything was stickers in those sets. And like for the space guys, we were all like, yeah, great. But it wasn't what they designed, for one. And for 2, it was a niche product. Like, it wasn't available everywhere. And, like, that's also kind of a problem. I mean, we've talked about supply and demand a bunch lately and everything else in the community and Lego sets being this or that. But, like, I mean, yeah.
I think it's definitely, there's a little bit of a disconnect between what Lego values and what community folks value. Like, and especially I think that note about lack of communication, lack of proper, thorough communication is a poignant one.
Yeah.
Because
And
Lego Ideas doesn't really talk or explain their thought process in terms of disqualifications or why they're not doing something. And that's
what
a
I
big
was saying. I think the rules are dating back to Lego Cuso. Like they designed it like, okay, we can bring the community to make assets for us, right? And it was the whole idea. That's Lego Ideas was born from that. And now it's like it has rules from like 10 years ago or something, and it grows, like they outgrew themselves, and I think it just needs some changes. But knowing Lego being kind of reluctant to changes lately, or I think Lego is this company where they like make amazing product, but sometimes they just kind of their marketing sometimes lags behind everything. For some reason, I think it shows in Lego Ideas as well. I mean, they're stepping up their game with like digital stuff and more, different product launches and different product marketing. But in some certain aspects, some certain areas of their communication with their community, they're like lagging behind your typical e-commerce modern company in that way. And I think Lego Ideas shows that dating of that way of communicating things and making sure things work the way they should. And it's visible. I think Lego Ideas is this platform when it's clearly visible that there is a problem. But we don't even know when or how they will address it. Like the community kind of know what they want, but with that problem in mind, will Lego listen? We don't know. Like, will Lego change things around here? I don't know. So that's the problem. Like, we don't know. We can just guess and hype for every single Lego idea set released from now on, but we don't know what's behind the scenes. We don't know what's next to come. We don't know if there's gonna be a 50 project review stage. What's gonna happen then? Because if they don't change the rules, we're going to be seeing like that was a record-breaking review stage, but we're going to be seeing more of that. And it will bring the very same problems. People will complain that, oh, we had 50 sets, one got voted, like one got accepted. Like, what was the deal here, right? So unless that changes, it's going to keep happening, I'm afraid.
Part of the process... Oh, sorry, go ahead, LJ.
Oh, no, I was just curious. Like, we've definitely recognized like there's an issue with the process right now. What would be some good solutions that Lego would be wise to consider?
Moderation and communication, in my opinion. More moderation.
A little bit too.
I was going to make a comment about something they said in the blog post. They were like, yeah, so, we have 7 different projects in different stages of development for ideas, and we only have a certain team to make it happen. And obviously, I don't work at Lego. I'm not in charge of a multi-billion-dollar company. I am not in charge of a company. I don't know what it's like to allocate people to different departments and hiring and the process, etc. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that. If you have a massively successful theme that is growing year over year, that is increasing in popularity, both with your core market and the larger Lego market, hire more people, get the job done, make more products at a quicker rate. Whatever that means, Lego is the #1 toy company in the world. Make it happen. And I know that's me with no experience saying that. Just do it. Because clearly there's so many sets coming out of the pipeline, either to go to the Bricklink division or Lego Ideas, that it needs to happen. And, you have 7 projects in the pipeline. One of them is going to be coming relatively soon. It has to be, whether it's, Home Alone or Sonic or I don't know, whatever other sets are in the pipeline. Like, I think that's less of an excuse. Like, just make more stuff and whatever it takes.
I mean, I agree with you. They have to allocate more resources to ideas. I think right now they have probably the Star Wars team right now is probably bigger than Lego Ideas team. I think even the wait time for certain, like, I lost track what's next. Like, people say, okay, it's Winnie. And then what, like the Home Alone home, whatever. But nobody knows when they're gonna come out. That the pipeline, it's like a missing link to the speed they design these sets. They clearly have too little people working on that. They clearly have some resourcing issues there. I think allocation is the key. So what Brian said, they absolutely have the resources to allocate to Lego Ideas. I'm not sure what they're not doing it yet, or we don't know they're doing it. Like, we just don't know.
Ant in the chat is like, "Oh, Brian makes it sound easy," and I clearly just said, like, yes, I'm making it sound very easy with, just saying hire more people, get the job done. And I know it's super complex. I understand. I'm fully aware of that. But the initial statement of make more sets and get the job done is still applicable, no matter what. Make more stuff, connect with more licenses, get more creators involved, make more money. I don't like it, it's complex, but it's also just as simple as that. And maybe that's just me with no experience trying to say it, but
I don't know. They're a $9 billion a year profitable company. There's no reason why they can't step up their game except for whatever reason that they want to give us. But you're dealing with $9 billion in profit alone.
But there is
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
This possibility that Lego is keeping it exclusive or low volume. Like, maybe they want to. There's a risk that if they allocate more stuff to Lego Ideas, it becomes the, in our hearts, it is the mainstream line from Lego. But maybe in Lego's eyes, it's like, okay, Lego Ideas is still this like exclusive, hyped about 2 sets per quarter or like 2 sets per year kind of theme. Maybe they want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But the demand is outgrowing, I think. Maybe if they have this understanding or they have this mission for Lego Ideas, it clearly doesn't align with what we want as fans.
So the problem with all of that is that, for one, can we please highlight Brickstar's statement right there? Because, oh my God, that's beautiful. 2, so like they're doing what Hasbro Pulse did and what Direct did, which is we're making exclusive sets that come from the fans, and that exclusive this, exclusive that, exclusive whatever, okay? And that's the problem, is that when you have 100 exclusives and everything you do is an exclusive, it's no longer an exclusive.
Right. That's what I was trying to say, exactly.
Yeah. And like that's the problem with this whole ideas thing, is that yes, they'll make whatever, but on opening day in like a Lego store, I'm gonna go buy the blacksmith shop because the blacksmith shop is out. Oh, we only got 5 copies in. What? Like, why would you only get 5 of this set that has been a buzz on the net from the community? People have been looking forward to this. You've been advertising the heck out of it with congratulations, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. It's like, what?
You may have a point here, because actually, if you think about it, Lego stores needed to expand their front window displays just because of the amount of sets they have to showcase. So we just have the medieval blacksmith, but like if you go to a Lego store today, the medieval blacksmith is brand new, fresh, hyped set, but then you have the Ecto 1 still on the display, and then you have the Sesame Street, and you have the giant Diagon Alley, and they have to add an extra display on the window because there's so many $100 plus sets right now, which maybe that's what we want, but maybe that's not exactly what we can afford. So there's it's a double-edged sword. You want more stuff, but it becomes more exclusive. It becomes like every month there's like 2 giant sets you want, like, as a real collector and fan, you have to find money for, and that's also another story, right?
Well, that's the thing too, is that like, so we all know my GameStop story. Lots of money. Jeff won.
So much money.
And like it Emily was like, well, are you gonna buy some Lego with some of the money? And I was like, I'm gonna think about it. And I decided to just throw it into the let's buy a house fund. Not important. So I went to the Lego store and I saw the Ecto 1, and like the nostalgia in me is like, oh man, I needs this in my life. But I have 10 Ecto 1s. Not all of them are Lego, but I have 10 of them. Do I really need 11? But then I look at the blacksmith, which is half the price, more akin to what I like to build as opposed to a big Technic monstrosity. I would rather go for the $150 than the $300 or the $400 Diagon Alley set. Like it's about price range for people. And yeah, we're getting all these crazy huge sets and like, oh yeah, it's $300, $400, $500, $600. Like, who? I don't understand who's be able to do that every month. I don't get it.
It's also about choice. It's not yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But it's also about just providing options for people. You're not supposed to buy one of everything every month and do it, and you really got to raise your threshold.
Our bunch here is a bit biased because we're like, every new set, get it right now, right? So we're kind of this kind of people. I try to be like, no, like I'm an example of typical like middle class guy trying to run a family and be able to afford Lego. So for me, it is becoming sort of a problem. Like, even though I want these sets, and it's kind of like Lego runs my life just a bit, because I have my channel, I have all those things going on in my life, and I love Lego on top of that. So it's kind of like I'm a bit biased in this situation. And I can complain saying like, oh, I can afford all this, well, I don't have enough income. That's the whole story. But looking at from that perspective, it's like what Brian said. It's either you want it, but also you have to understand that Lego is not running the company for you. It's not for you, like as an AFOL being able or like wanting to buy sets every month. It's for people to have options. So they want to attract more people. They want to get more market coverage. They want to have a person entering a Lego store, looking at the shelf and like, oh, there's always something for me, right? And it's not about you trying to get all of these and grow your collection. It's about an average person being able to buy what they want. So they don't like the bonsai tree, they can get the creator car. They don't like the creator car, they can get a giant Harry Potter set.
Kirk has his thinking face on right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two things that I wanted to make mention of. In regards to ideas and when it comes to licensed stuff, I can't remember when they implemented the feature, but where you're able to type in, say, Avatar: The Last Airbender or any other license. How many people are actually making use of that before they make these projects?
I think the ones that are seriously considering it should be, or they are.
Yeah. Because like I feel like that would help, but then it's also like, I don't know. I feel like even though that's a feature, it still in some way feels kind of pointless too, because it's almost like for example, Avatar: The Last Airbender didn't get approved. It said that you can make whatever from it. I don't think it was Avatar. It was something, and I think Mini Brick mention of it in his video.
Earlier, you must have been so entrenched in your own thoughts about making the Marvel Cinematic Universe out of Lego. I did mention that you will make an ideas project based off of Avatar, even though there's that one project got denied and there's another one in this next review.
Yeah. So there is that, but then there's also the thing of, for example, I don't know what your guys like thoughts are on the whole like black box thing, the 18+ thing. For a set like Sonic, you make a Sonic set and say, I guess they're possibly going to put it as 18+, and then also have it with the black box. To me, something that and again, I mean, they're just boxes at the end of the day, but it's like, to me, you walk in a Lego store or any store for that matter, and you're walking down the aisle, you're looking for something. Say you're a Sonic fan, it's probably possible for you to bypass that because it doesn't have like, say, the art style and eye-catching thing of like how you have the Flintstone set, where it's the artwork and the backdrop and everything like that. Like, I feel like certain sets probably should be able to have that, and then I guess the more, adult, the ones that are more catered to the adult fan base, like for example the typewriter, stuff like that. Okay, then go ahead and use the black box. But I feel like for sets that are a bit more, aimed at more like in the middle, so like younger audience, somewhat teenager, and going a bit more into the adult community, I feel like those should be able to have
go along with it.
Yeah, because otherwise it just doesn't stand out as much. It's just like you throw Green Hill Zone in black, the black background. It's like
that's gonna look like cool.
Yeah. So that's another concern that I have about that.
I'd just like to reply to Ian and say I was asking for the Coliseum. I think that's great, and I'm still waiting for my ancient
like
Roman
the only
Greek
guy,
theme.
really. Like, it's because of him that's the set that's made.
There's something for everyone, and I think the more options that Lego gives people at various price points is the better, no matter what.
Can I bring up the new gift with purchase contest that they've got going on Lego Ideas right now?
That's the thing.
I did not see that.
What now? Go ahead and enlighten us, Jeff.
So like they did with the Vroom Vroom car with the surfboards that always fall off, they are doing another contest where a fan gets to design a set for the gift with purchase. Hold on to your butts. This time it's a space set. So people can make whatever space set they want. I brought this to the attention of a guy like Fazoom last night, and like I've never seen an almost 50-year-old man get so excited. Because if Fazoom puts something in, boom, that's done. Consider whatever anybody else does.
He should be given first place in anything he submits.
Well, as far as like space stuff, yeah. No offense, Chris, but space is your thing, and you don't really like other things. So
No, he wears that like a badge of honor, Jeff. You know that.
Oh yeah, I know. Like if Chris puts in something, or if Chris and Mark teamed up again to build something and put it in, that's it.
Done.
Everybody go home. That's it. Like
So what you're saying is that space is getting a new set.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Imagine if Lego Ideas
Like a NASA set.
but they decided, we're not making classics. We know for a fact we're not doing classic space, but we're going to do this to supplement the set that comes out next year. And that's going to be the gift of purchase for the 90th Idea set. Look how big brain I am. Send me to Denmark, you cow. Send me to what? Who do I got to talk to? Who?
Right now, probably border control.
You need like an email to Mr. Christiansen right now.
I'll go stow away on a ship. Get me to Denmark.
Kirk, why are you texting me during a broadcast?
But you text me during the broadcast, and I was like, wait, why do you message?
Wow, none of you guys are texting me. Jeez.
And me.
See, LJ, the real discussion happens behind the scenes.
Like there's some shady stuff happening behind the scenes.
Wow!
Right now.
All those
What's
nice
going
things
on?
I said about you on the stream, behind
You're
the scenes,
plotting.
none of it's true.
Facebook.
Plotting against us.
Fine then. I know where I'm wanted. I'm going back to the battlefield. I've
That
got a
is
lot
amazing.
of questions.
Is that
I got
like a 3D print? What is it?
Please, LJ, you don't need to defend your virtue. Please just put the X.
Hey.
Look.
3 virtues: unity, duty, destiny. All right, look it up.
Okay.
Hey,
OJ is like a Bionicle Viking, and he's just coming in to raid our system monastery.
Oh my God.
yeah.
All right.
Rick was in the chat.
You got a
Hello,
castle?
Rick Wiz.
We're breaking the wall down.
Oh
Please
yeah.
put the X down.
I'm gonna end up in a newspaper. Crazy Idaho man wielding plastic axe asks for Bionicle to come back.
Please put the-
Promptly arrested.
Thank you.
That could be like a 50-page Time magazine submission.
Finally, Bionicle.
You're wearing the suit and you have like the keyblade. I mean the grass blade on your back, and you're just like with the lighting. It's great.
The wind
Okay.
in the hair, just
You look like a bad cosplay Final Fantasy character with that X.
like
Oh,
Bionicle
just wait
King
till
of
you
the
see my
Year
shoes.
Time magazine
They're just
cover.
like all like large and they got like that big like the flap in the middle, like
Yeah.
top of it just sticking up.
LJ, I'm surprised you're not as mad about me calling the axe a keyblade. Okay.
I mean, it could work.
I saw the face. I saw the face that LJ made as soon as you said Keyblade, so I was like, "There it is."
No, it was it was like leaf. 'Cause it's like, listen, or grass. I think you said grass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This cuts through vines. This cuts through trees. All right. This cuts through other Lego themes.
That just
On
looks
Lego
like,
Ideas.
that just looks like a thing that says women.
Can we screenshot him like full screen?
If
This
if
is the
LJ
thumbnail.
doesn't get awarded
This is the-
like
John, this
Man
is
of
the
the
thumbnail.
Year or something,
There we go.
Man.
That's the thumbnail.
Man
That's
of
the
Why,
the
shot.
yes, I am going
This Man
for
of
the
the Year
Nobel
was
Peace
the shot.
Prize.
That's
My
a,
form of
That's
peace,
Bionicle.
victory.
so that looks just like a domestic violence call in the future.
I mean,
Thumbnail goes so well with the title.
I've
right
taken
now.
my fair share of those. I know what those are like.
How you do, bud?
Brian's here like, oh yeah. Whoops. Oh.
For context, everyone, LJ, is your occupation public knowledge?
I think it is. I'm a 911 dispatcher.
Props, man. That stuff's not easy.
No,
Wow.
No, it's not. No.
it depends. But it's all right though, because you know what keeps me sane and happy? No, I'm done. I was just gonna reach over for my commemorative 2002 inflatable Nuva cube in stores nowhere.
What is that thing?
They like this is like a employee gift from 2002. It's a pair of dice. This is one of the 2 dice. You inflate both of them on this like giant carpet map. Like it's a giant map. It's that, but like massive.
Mhm.
And you toss these dice on it. It's friggin' weird.
I thought it
don't-
was like some random pillow or something in the background. I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Nope, this is a Bionicle thing. It's
Oh.
got patterns and
Gotcha.
the best
Okay.
one. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
So you're like 911. What's your emergency? Bionicle was not voted in.
Listen, all I'm saying, I'm prepared for when it loses.
Yeah.
Listen, if we could get a 501st battle pack into existence, we can rally behind so many things. We can push the tides as much as we
Be
can.
careful with that power,
Let's
Brian.
bring back if we're gonna go for Bionicle and like a whole bunch of stuff. Let's bring back Ben 10 sets. Let's do that.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, you know what?
I think your time has concluded in
I'm
this
kidding.
stream right
Ben 10.
now.
No, here's what we do.
Oh,
We
God.
advocate for Bionicle.
Mhm.
Then we transition to Princess Peach's castle. Then we all buy GameStop stock and hold. Diamond hands, chat. Diamond hands. Hold.
Here's
Jack? Hold.
Here's a
Don't
really radical idea that maybe a number of people in the Lego community can maybe consider is letting go of past themes and just looking to the future, possibly. I know that's really hard for a lot of people, but you don't have to hold on to everything that Lego has ever designed and released.
Joshua!
I know that's a radical idea, but that is possible to do.
That is an excellent point. And you know what? Castle, pirates, space fans, I think it's time. I think he's right.
Let it all go.
Oh, wait. By
Yeah.
the way, I am not a financial advisor. Diamond hands.
But
Want
yeah,
to play
it's much,
Minecraft.
it's
Diamond
much more than just the Bionicle fans that can't let go of things. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, monorail fans, and I mean this in the worst way possible. You're just as annoying as Bionicle fans. I mean, it's true. Like if people who just like it's their personality to just continually bring things up that are old and that they want brought back. It's always been by far my biggest complaint about the Lego community. We're coming up on 10 years of Beyond the Brick here, and it's always been the number one thing that I've least liked about the Lego community is how attached people are to old things and not letting go and complaining nonstop about them.
Which is why
Where-
we need
Wow, being called out here, I see.
Where is the LJ Johnson of the monorail community to come on here?
Sorry to the chat.
Sir's right there.
He's
No,
right
but
there
like,
in the corner.
Oh, that
Right
comment. He
I
said,
mean, no.
you were just mad it was gone before you were born.
Not at all.
I mean, Bionicle was a cool set, and it'd be neat to have one, but I don't think it needs to come back.
Oh, God.
It's just
What are
a
the
track
three
that a weird train runs on. I mean,
You're
I don't understand
You're
it.
not wrong at all, but I still like the future on one. I mean,
Is this how it feels to be like part of this club? It's like dorks. What's going on, everybody?
And Logan Film Studios asks, yeah, but what about Western, Joshua? Yeah, I like Western. I think it's great, but I'm not constantly calling for it to be brought back or so upset at Lego that they haven't brought Western back. I have the old Western sets. I can still enjoy them. I'm fine
mean,
with moving on. They made
Joshua
some cool
just
sets.
robbed a few trains
I
on
like
the way.
it.
So.
I can move on with the other things Lego has done. That's how I feel. And I don't understand why that's so hard for so many other people to do.
Fair enough.
because people are sheep, Joshua.
I'm
you
happy.
you just robbed a few trains, raided a few western towns to just vent. That's fine.
Well, I mean, how stoked were you when we got the Western 2.0 with the Lone Ranger, Joshua? Did you buy those sets?
Yeah, I love it. The little like army building set with all of the like cavalry guys. I bought several of those. It was super cool. They're great for like Civil War era soldiers. There were some really great guys there. So yeah, you take what you can get. You know, when they come out with something new and different, even like the Mario stuff, I think is great. I'm not certainly not the world's biggest Mario fan, but Lego's trying something new. Obviously, there's a lot of big Mario fans out there, so I think that kind of thing is really awesome.
Gee,
I
who
like
would that
I like
be?
to look to the future and see what the possibilities are.
Yeah, I would like to see new things too.
I don't know. I don't get the appeal of Mario. I mean, it's like you got this story,
I
this
see.
Mario guy.
I see.
Like,
I see
why
some
can't
steam
I have my
flowing
own
off somebody's
in
ears right now. Like,
there?
there's
Save my own princess.
Brian,
Like,
why are you changing colors on your face right now?
why are you putting me in this creative box? Nintendo?
I don't see a Universal Studios park in Japan based off of Bionicle. Okay, it's
You're right. Because all the people are too busy spending time on the Bionicle rides at Legoland.
I'm sorry, which rides? What?
The Bionicle rides.
Can we just have these two on the screen for the time being?
Don't those break down all the time, though?
Only the lime ones.
Brian, when are we going to get you a man on the street at the Mario theme park covering it for Beyond the Brick? That's what we've got to figure out.
You need to tiptoe into Timmy's bedroom, take that company card, and then you send me the information. Right over to Japan I go. Done.
I would like
1 month in Japan.
Just you in Japan at all would be great. Like, you would stand out so much in Japan.
That's like a Netflix show idea right there.
I would be the morbidly obese guy having a mental breakdown in the middle of Universal Studios on my hands and knees just crying as these coin sounds and Goombas and Koopas are all going and everyone in Japan is like, what is this guy doing? And I'm just
I would like to point out that Brian Saviano doesn't go anywhere without his personal security detail, which is me.
I don't want to know. You're going
And
to
his
ruin
camera
it.
guy, which is me.
Super Nintendo World is a pure and holy place that I don't want Jeff anywhere.
Look how quickly Brian turned on Jeff. And already,
Yes.
Jeff, you've already been
It's
cut out.
working.
We just need to make a
I would just
limited
hang out
time.
outside at the ride there, Brian. That way you can go play with Mario and Peach, and I would just hang out and smoke cigarettes, and I don't know.
Make like a limited time.
I mean,
series
you know,
for
if
Beyond the
James
Brick.
May can have his
Yeah,
show on
all of
Amazon, Brian can have his own on Netflix.
Just call it Brian's Big Japan Adventure.
A nerd in Japan.
Just call it that. Oh, man.
Our nerd in Japan. There you
So
go.
they do have a cake at Super Nintendo World that's based off of the cake that you get at the end of Super Mario 64. Princess Peach makes a cake for Mario.
Well, it's like a cake you can eat.
Yeah, you can eat it at the
Wow.
Timmy, send me.
Brian, you can only go there if you cosplay as Mario.
That's fine. You never have to send me the Denmark. You think I care about Lego? No.
Just gotta wear
Send
the
me-
inflatable suit.
Send me right to the right. I'll knock on Mr. Nintendo's door and be like, I know the castle is in there. Let's go. Jump the shark.
I can see like security kicking you out. It makes me laugh right now.
I know the listen, I know this castle exists. No one at Lego is going to say anything. I feel I feel it. I feel it. All right. So
There's a disturbance in
You
the
know what?
force.
I'm glad you were able to break out of that box. It's clear you have quite a wild and creative imagination.
Well, he's still in the box. Like
No, okay, that's true. That's yeah.
we're all in the box right now.
that was very cathartic.
Good to be able to vent, huh, Brian?
Yes.
I made it out of that whole situation. Like, thanks so much, Brian. I owe you one. Thanks.
Like,
you know,
Hey, man, you're welcome, man.
I'll
LJ,
pay
like,
you
he
later.
removed the tie. He's like, okay, here we go.
yeah. I'm brawling
He's
now.
getting ready. He's getting ready, like to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, LJ, look at how fashionable you are. Is there anything you're not capable of? That's my question.
Well, we're gonna find out if one of the things I'm not capable of is bringing Bionicle back. Give it a few more days. We'll see if that's gonna be the thing.
Sounds like a challenge.
I really want to make I thought about making a vote for Castle promo video for Beyond the Brick, but I feel like that'd not be right. I don't really want to like take
Do it.
sides. We try to stay like fairly neutral just as a brand here. So I feel like I shouldn't do that.
I mean, I get that philosophy. But, however, Jang Bricks did make a tweet endorsing Bionicle.
Oh,
So it's like-
we could create some drama there between us and Jang.
Jang
Exactly.
Bricks is skewed. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Off the kilter, off the rocker. Okay, you heard it here first, Jang. I'm coming after you next. You think
Wow.
Jang Bricks
Oh,
can be on this
boy.
quarantine cast?
Dude.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Jang
boy.
is gonna like turn you into one of his reviews. Like that's his ultimate move. Like
Brian,
you get shrunk down and you're in the void, the Jang void, and you hear his calming voice. Here we have Brian Saviano, and this is very interesting. He really seems to like Princess Peach's castle, which is never going to be a real Lego set. Let's be honest, everyone. So check out the Patreon, and thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you on the next review. And then you like go.
His love for Princess Peach is borderline disturbing.
It's not about her. It's the concept of her.
Okay.
How many countries can Brian Saviano be banned from? Japan's number one.
I'm sorry, Brian, but you don't want to tangle with Jang. I mean, I think you come out the loser in that battle.
Doesn't mean I can't still put up a fight. Okay,
that's what we're all about here, Bionicle.
Oh man. If I can start drama, you know what? If I could start fake internet drama, listen, I'm glad it started with LJ. It was just a prelude. You know, that was my afternoon snack. But we know the main course for the main meal of the night is the fight night leading round here is against Jang Bricks.
I mean, Maniac for Bricks is defending Jang right now in the chat. If we want to throw that up on the screen,
sorry. Who?
Joey, he's a kind lad. He's very serious about this defense of Jang Bricks. So
listen, I've been doing YouTube for 10 years too, Joey. Yeah, me and Jang will talk. We'll talk.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what they call it now. Gonna be talking with some knuckle sandwiches, maybe.
Yeah, please don't fist fight Jang, Brian.
I'm not gonna physically hurt Jang.
Just emotionally.
Oh, we all know that, but I mean, just don't even try.
He's gonna stick his dog on you, and then you're gonna be in trouble. It's gonna be like that scene in The Dark Knight with Batman in the tower with Joker, and you're just gonna be overwhelmed.
Side tangent pertaining to Jang though. He did do a video where somebody sent him a monorail. I don't know if you guys saw this video.
Today. Mm-hmm.
He's very, very caught off guard by a very generous fan of his. It was very touching to see Jang. He wasn't like crying, but he was definitely very like, whoa.
He was on the verge. For sure.
I guess.
I mean, I imagine that's how most archaeologists feel when they find like dinosaur bones. You know, something equally ancient.
Right.
Well, oh my goodness! I need to take a moment here. I really feel the need to clarify something. Archaeologists do not go digging for dinosaur bones. Okay, and when you meet an archaeologist, please don't mention dinosaur bones. That's not what we do. And I can say I've studied archaeology. I've worked on an archaeology dig. Major misconception here. I want to clarify.
So what do you actually do then?
I
don't know.
Historical.
For a second, I thought you were going to be like, listen, all right, the views of LJ Johnson on monorail doesn't represent Beyond the Brick, but no, you went a completely different direction. It's like, whoa.
So Joshua, is that you go into sacred holy places that have been buried for centuries, and then you take their most holy artifacts to sell to a museum?
That's my number one goal in life.
Dope. All right.
Sometime I'll tell you all about the 2,500-year-old dog that I dug up in Israel in an archaeology dig, but that's for a different time.
That sounds like an interesting story, actually. It really does. I'm not lying. It sounds great.
It is. I had many wonderful adventures in the Middle East during that trip. So
Joshua,
that's for a different live stream, though.
Did you wear a fedora hat, maybe a leather jacket, and a whip? Just in case?
Every archaeologist thinks they're Indiana Jones. I can't tell you how many times I heard the Indiana Jones theme song as the alarm to wake up in the morning at the dig. Everybody thinks that's who they are. It's how we fool ourselves into getting up at 4 a.m. and digging in the desert.
Did you fight Nazis?
So no secret tombs, no like artifacts, no like rolling boulders?
There are artifacts.
No?
There are secret tombs. You find bodies all the time in archaeology.
Poison darts? Nothing?
That's where you found
sounds kind of boring.
Like, did you have to like beat Nazis to a certain spot before you?
There's just a major lack of Nazis. That's all I can say.
That's good.
That sounds out weird when said out loud. Actually.
But what about the dinosaur house of the Sinclairs? I understood that reference, Bricksar. because I actually have watched that show in its completion. It's
No
done.
idea what he's talking about.
He's talking about a show. It's called Dinosaurs. It was from Jim Henson's company. Very interesting show. I watched it all in its entirety because that's what I do. Once again,
That's what I did on a Thursday night.
Great, thanks, buddy.
He's really pulling for that 5th season of Fuller House, man. He's waiting.
no, it's over.
Wow. Are we going to talk about food next?
No, there's no other news. And there's nothing. Right? There's no other news. We got nothing.
We've been going for over 2 hours now.
Not
We don't need to belabor the stream. We were 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, not the mama. That's what the baby says. I'm sorry. It's what the baby says in the show.
All right.
But yeah.
Can I just say, I think it's so interesting. The viewership has been totally flipped on this stream. For like the first time ever, we've had way more YouTube viewers than Facebook viewers because the Facebook viewers are very casual. And once you get into this like in-depth Bionicle, Lego theme lore and discussion, we lose everyone on Facebook. But the more serious YouTube viewers are much more interested. So LJ, you've really reinvigorated our YouTube viewers on this stream. Thank you.
I told Brian a few days ago, I'll bring an audience.
Can you do the CSI move like we brought Bionicle? Can you do it? Like
Yeah, no, it's
Dave Caruso?
It's been great, everybody. Have a great day.
I knew that like bringing you LJ on would be good for this discussion and to talk about, and you are very good at like making your points but in an entertaining way, and that's what you do. So thank you.
I try. This has been a blast. This has been so much fun. And heck, I like being theatrical, being entertaining. Like on our podcast, it's always just it's very theatric. It's very I up the emotion and whatnot. But it's always fun to just actually talk about things and have fun discussing things. That's what I like.
Jeff, you can stop waving now.
I'll be doing the send off. I thought.
Unless it's like a...
No, you're too early, Jeff. Please stop.
It's like, are we done yet?
Yeah, this has been a blast. And listen, if you ever need a Bionicle archaeologist,
Okay.
all right,
Wow.
just go ahead and let me know.
Oh my god, he came prepared. He came really prepared this time.
Oh my god.
Oh,
How many props do you have?
Yes, so
I'm so...
got, like,
I haven't even scratched the surface on the amount.
Oh,
There's like a
man.
full crew behind him right now. It's like a Universal Studios set or something.
I'm ready
like a
to go.
sitcom set.
Oh,
here we go.
Holy
now,
smokes.
ready to go.
there's a real IP we can get behind.
Yeah, right.
Right.
oh,
I didn't even bring out my mask.
Yeah, that is not the Mandalorian mask you have.
I mentioned it now. I gotta bring it.
This is just LJ shows
is this
off
like show
props.
and tell or like what
Oh
are we doing?
boy.
Top
What can we expect now?
So there's that, I guess.
Can we have a drum roll? Or... There we go.
Not good. Nope.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Oh boy. There we go.
Power
Just
Rangers.
got nothing on that mask, man. Let me tell you.
I'm CDC compliant.
What?
Oh,
This is what happens when
Do you
theater
wear this
kids
thing
get
to a
into
grocery
Lego.
store?
is that? Are you gonna make Beskar armor or something with that? Like, it's not a very good Mandalorian Smith helmet.
It's not very good. What?
It's not a very good Mandalorian Smith helmet.
It's not a helmet. It's a mask.
It's obviously Power Rangers. Come on, guys.
Oh,
This is actually the Kanohi Miru, the mask of levitation worn by Toa Liwa. Actually, this is the golden variant, which is
Yeah,
actually containing 6 powers.
been
The
a
mask
fantastic-
powers
Yeah, we
combined.
knew that.
everybody.
We knew that. Everybody knew that. You don't have to explain.
much.
Everybody knew that.
For tuning in, buy my coffee.
what? What?
All the things.
Brian's
the
ready
things.
for the portion of the show where he plugs all of his merch.
Excellent.
All
Get
right,
everybody
Brian.
get their Brick So Brew in the chat.
We're charging you Super Bowl rates right now.
Oh god.
Man, that smells good. That's good,
Brian,
that's good coffee.
do you have anything? What else do you have for sale? There's still Bob figures. Build
Yeah,
a Bob.
There's plenty of those. There's whatever. Listen, let's just all be happy that we can have some quality, amazing content from these live streams with some great people.
That's right.
And it's some great. And Jeff is here, and just an overall fantastic. Overall, very colorful, and Jeff is here. So
My
All the
hand
great
up,
people and Jeff.
you off, Brian.
what?
My hand that you can't see, that's off camera, giving you the bird.
What kind of bird? Like a bald eagle?
Just
like a real American patriotic.
The sign of peace.
That's good.
Don't stop smelling it.
No, that's how I sell the coffee. I've sold quite a few.
I smell the coffee every day. The same
Brian,
thing. It's beautiful.
Brian, no one else is here. No one's sniffing anything. I mean, if you want people to sniff things, what you want me to pull out this VHS that I got recently and just give it that to
Here we go again with the VHS.
How- Are you 65?
I hate that the sunlight is like now pouring through my window because it keeps washing it out. I got this recently from a friend. And this is X-Men Days of Future Past.
What friend gave that to you? The Grim Reaper on the way looting your house?
No, he found this. I think it was like one of his mom's friends had it in their attic along with like an SNES or something like that, and like a Game Boy or something like that. And he doesn't really know anything about X-Men, so he was like, you know what? Give this to you. You care more about this stuff. Send it to you. So now I have this in my possession.
That's cool.
So when are you gonna watch it on your VCR?
I don't have one, and I don't need to because it's on Disney. It's on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus. I mean, at some point, maybe when I have the time, maybe I'll look into getting a VCR to actually.
You have loads of time.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, and then I'll just.
You don't really do anything. You just kind of, I don't know. You just have loads of time.
Yeah.
No one's sniffing anything. Well, this really hit rock bottom. This is what I'm saying for Zoom. Everybody's got to sniff a little that Brick So Brew.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with cancellation. Fresh.
Joshua, you got to end this show, man. We got to
I
get
know.
out.
I think it's a good point
man.
right now too.
Okay,
We're
well,
going rock bottom. Somebody just threw a shovel.
you know what? This ideas vote has been the greatest thing to happen to the quarantine cast. Like these, I mean, it's brought so much life back to this. Like our 2021 streams just really have taken it to the next level.
Joshua, wait till you see what I have in store for next week. I haven't even told you yet.
Oh no!
I'm going to get a lot of people here for that one.
Hey, can I do a shameless plug?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna be building the rest or some of my police station tonight at like 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. If people want to come by and hang out.
Are you really coming on here and promoting your own channel, Jeff? Just like that? Like just
That's not allowed
shamelessly?
unless you're Brian.
Yeah.
You
Is
know
that
how many
like-
followers we have, and you would just come on and do that?
Yeah.
No impassioned speech about your favorite theme and why it means so much to you and why it should be the next Ideas Project set?
I don't do that.
Okay, in that case, go watch Jeff's stream.
So indifferent.
Oh, the enthusiasm, man.
Okay,
That was a really good plug.
we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it, people. It's been great having everyone, LJ especially. Thanks for coming on, defending Bionicle
Absolutely.
like the stalwart hero that you are.
You almost
It
made me
has
vote
been
for it. So
A
there's that.
pleasure. Thanks for having me on. And anytime you guys want to learn the entire story for like 3 hours, you know where to find me.
That's right. Bye, everyone.